Welcome, BBCers, to episode number 289 of the Broken by Concept podcast, the number one League of Legends solo queue educational and motivational podcast. No Curtis here today. He's still on vacation. Coach Cupcake going to be joining us for, I think this is your third appearance. So BBC people don't really need too much of an introduction, but we'll introduce you anyway, Cupcake. So former pro player, multi-challenger, multi-season challenger, support player. Have you ever been rank 1?
Rank 2 is my peak.
Yes,
so
that's like me
thanks
as well.
for rubbing that in.
Yes. No, I talk about me fans to get rank 1 as well.
A couple of rank 2 Andys.
Rank 2 Andys, exactly right. And how many, when was the first season you got challenger?
I think 2014 or 15. I've done 11 years in a row now.
Yep, 11 years. So your OPGG is perfect.
It's a challenger peak, so I've let it decay to Diamond 1.
Yeah. So some websites show the peak and some don't, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think OPGG just does the end, the actual end.
It does.
Results.
Yeah.
So you know, people obviously in the Botland Academy. You know, Andy is the Support Academy head coach. So what we're going to be doing this episode is the same as what we did with our ADC episode the week before this with Praedyth. We're going to be breaking down all the champions in the support position. Things we're going to be talking about is what are the big 20%ers to improve and climb on that champ? What are the common narratives? We love our narratives and breaking down narratives on this podcast. With these champions that sort of hold people back, or community narratives in general. Differences between high elo, low elo. What are some learning objectives you might be setting for people that you coach? Obviously, you have a lot of experience coaching support, solo queue for years now at this point. So we'll be getting into that. And then just some common mistakes you see all the time. What are the common things you always see in coaching sessions or learning objectives that you sort of, you have to set for them?
I think also just like the misconceptions of the champion.
Yes.
Because a lot of times with League of Legends champions, the general community has this idea of the champion, but what it's actually good at is actually all the way over here, right? Some people have really bad misconceptions. So,
or they just need massive mindset shifts. They just have the complete wrong mindset. A really good example, the first one thing that comes to mind already was we did a duo. There was like I was breaking down duo queue, and the guy played Soraka, and he brought a VOD, and we sort of broke it down, and he was playing so defensively. And it was like, I'm a little healer, I got to go heal. And like we're saying, Soraka can dominate this lane.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a huge one. We're going to be talking about a lot more aggression from range supports.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, your middle name in the Support Academy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coach Aggression Cupcake. So the way we're going to do this a little bit differently from the Praedyth episode is before we literally went from A to Z about the champions in order, but because support there's a lot more champions than AD carry champions. They're a bit more unique. We're just going to go with what are the solo queue community actually playing. So what I've gone and done is listed the top 25 supports, Emerald Plus Global. This is what OPGG, and this is for the recent patch. So we're going to go down the list and. Yeah, Cupcake, you're just going to be, we're going to be yapping about these champions. I'm just going to
sit here and look pretty.
Sounds good.
And Charlie's just going to add his commentary as he usually does.
Well, we're interviewing, what I want to view this episode as well as, with this series where Curtis is not here, we're interviewing potential Curtis replacements.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at both, because you're on the chopping block as well. I'm looking at people talking into the microphone, providing good insight, no elitism on the podcast as well. We want to talk to the average League of Legends player. So yeah, with that in mind, the average League of Legends player plays a shit ton of Nami, it seems.
Well, again, Emerald Plus I wouldn't say is average. Like
I know Nami's never top on the normal list as well. I think, Nami's like, I think we were looking the other day, we don't have it on the screen, but Nami and Thresh are like the two most popular champs in the game, not just in the support position. They're in more games than any others. So Nami, what do we...
Nami has a pick rate of 15%, by the way. Emerald Plus.
That is really high.
And really high. Like probably one of the highest champs. I think Elise is in. I think is like the most popular champ, or like Jinx or something like that.
No, we looked the other day. Viego, Jinx, Caitlyn, Thresh, Nami, I think.
What are that? 18% or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, the top three are just 80 carries, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
It's just like Caitlyn, Jinx, Ezreal.
Yeah.
Which you love.
So yeah, 15% pick rate. You think that's quite high, Cupcake, and a 52% win rate. So people get success with this champ and pick it a lot.
Yeah, it's just one of the most perfect supports that you can have. There's no surprise that it is so popular. It's easy to execute. The points of reference are super clear. It's strong. It can use items very well. For those of you who have been in Botlane Academy for a while, this is a champion that I'm recommending for the last couple of years. It's good in low elo. It's good in high elo. Just a fantastic champion to have in your pool, no matter what.
All right, someone brings you a VOD Cupcake. What is the copy paste you basically need to be saying with Nami VODs?
Yeah. So the first thing I look at is how aggressive they are in lane.
Okay.
There we go.
More specifically, level 1, because she is one of the strongest enchanters level 1. Her W is incredibly powerful. It can bounce multiple times. It can heal. It can do damage. So I'm asking my students to basically run through their mana pool level 1 and just trade incredibly aggressively. Because the later on in the lane you get, the more abilities that everyone else unlocks, the scarier it is to just go and ego trade with them, because you're going to potentially get one shot.
And that's a mindset shift, because most Nami players start off by self-Wing or better worse yet, Wing their AD carry, right? Yeah. Very rarely do people actually use the W to bounce twice, and very rarely do they use it on the enemy. They're always just like, oh, AD carry, take a bit of healing. But that's just not your approach to using that ability, right?
No, absolutely not. No, level 1, you can basically 1v2. It kind of depends on the matchup. Like some matchups, you need a reason to find a double bounce. Like they would need to be missing a cooldown, or you'd need Fog of War, or the enemy ADC would be needing to go for a last hit. But most of the time, you can just kind of full send it, get a couple bounces, deplete your mana pool, deplete their health bars, and then as the lane progresses, then you're just going to be in a really good spot.
So is it easy to hit the bounce, or do they have to be very close to each other? So are you telling me you just reliably, you sprint down towards bot, the wave comes and you're just Wing them and just bouncing
not
that
quite that brute force. So like you will approach from the bottom side of the lane initially through fog, and then you'll look for an opportunity to kind of cast it on the enemy support, who's normally on the bottom side of the lane, and then click forwards a little bit to catch that bounce, and then push that bounce onto the enemy ADC, and then kind of back off at a reasonable time.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so you're either doing like that double bounce, or you're just taking short, concise, I call them handshake trades. Like you trade against me, I trade against you, and Nami wins those because her W does damage and heals. It's quite a loaded spell.
Is it sort of like a Karma mantra Q where if you're just doing the W like max range and it just hits one person, it doesn't bounce at all, is that like end of review level stuff, level 1?
You need at least one bounce, otherwise you're misusing W.
Okay.
So a couple of end of reviews, as you would call it, would be 0 bounce Ws, like you're just flinging it onto the enemy, then running away, you're not catching it, and you're not catching it and bouncing it.
Yeah.
Or you're using your W and you're getting 0 value out of the heal, because you want to kind of lead with an auto attack so that you can do a little bit more damage, and then you take some damage and then you heal it up. Because there's no point in getting a bounce for the heal and then there's nothing to heal, right? So it's just really min-maxing the spell, getting the bounces, getting the heal, getting the damage value, and embracing that. You can do so much work with that in the early levels.
Okay, so aggression, level 1. What about...
Something I found interesting quickly is you said Nami was easy. You said the execution was quite easy. I would have thought Nami Q is one of the harder abilities in the game to land.
Yeah, her Q is a bit tricky. So you find results on Nami through just pressing W on someone, pressing E on someone, building some items, and then just chilling. So,
so you don't even need to hit Qs to win the game.
Not really. Of course, like it's going to help a lot. And then I talk about, well, like a lot of my helping my students to land their spells is the Q. Like you need some setup for the Q. You need a reason to press it. You need them to be just basically slowed by your E.
Yep.
So that's the main thing. But on that note, like if you cast your Q, it actually gets quite specific. So a lot of people miss their Nami Qs because either they're not setting up initially with that slow, or they're casting and trying to predict their movements when they're slowed. So I say just get them slowed by your E, and then just cast it just like really on the nose, just on the champion, no predicting, no anything, and then you should be able to land it consistently.
Yeah, just click on their heads.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like that's not the most important part of Nami's kit. You do a bunch of damage and utility with your W and your E.
Yeah.
Your mandate does an absurd amount of damage. You constantly stay safe, a screen away from all of the action, and then you just stay alive, pump out your spells. And that's how you're going to find results on the champion, primarily.
I think that's a good point about the items, because, I mean, I had a small Nami phase last year, and I felt that this champion as a support is the only support I've really played where I actually feel the items. Most supports, I'm just like kind of like, just running around. Maybe Vandal Pipes is a bit different, but the items don't really change how they function. But with Nami, Is she just one of the best supports in the game at using the enchanter items?
I think we need to go from plural to singular here. So mandate is an enormous spike.
Just the mandate.
On Nami.
I see, okay.
It's an enormous spike. In the past, you could have built some other items that could have felt good, but nowadays enchanter items are quite powerful. And so if you play Sona, you're going to notice Helia. You're going to notice Diadem. You're going to notice Dawncore. They're all enormous spikes. With Nami, it's like mandate is huge, and then there's not as much to build. So she's actually slightly weaker than last season with all of this, with the Diadem and the Helia kind of rework, buffing up some other enchanters. But she's still incredibly strong, and mandate is an insane item spike. And games normally don't go on for long enough for enchanters to build, 3, 4, 5 items anyway. So you're happy with the mandate, and then you just kind of build the rest of your enchanter items and have a bit of healing on the back end.
What about playing against engaged supports? Do people really struggle with them, or is that just because they're not abusing level 1 enough, and then they just let them get level 3 and then just die?
Pretty much. You hit the nail on the head there.
Because everyone's full HP when they hit level 3, and then Nami just dies.
Like one of the most common mistakes that students make just against engagers in general is always giving them respect. Like they can't kill you level 1. They can't kill you if the wave is on your side. They can't kill you if they're chunked. They can't kill you if they're missing cooldowns. They can't engage on you if you have control of the wave and they're out of the bushes and you're respecting their engage range. So there's so much that you can do to make an engager's life hard. But I think the typical player is a little bit more defensive. Like, oh, I'm a squishy little enchanter. I need to be careful of this engager. I will just kind of get one shot and die. And so that's something that I can really help walk people through to understand how you can dominate these types of matchups as well. But it's kind of like on a similar framework where you need to dominate level 1. That helps. That's just kind of what your champion is good at anyway. And then level 2, some engages really start to come online. Level 3, basically all of them are online. And then you just adjusting from there. Like if you did a really good job the first couple levels and they're chunked, then maybe you don't need to respect them. But there's always some stage in the Nami lane where the enemies are going to be back in lane, full health, full mana, gold spent, all of their abilities unlocked, and then that kind of changes the dynamics. And then you have to just respect their engage range a little bit more.
What about members hitting Rs? Are people really good at hitting R, you find?
Honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised by how people press Nami R. Maybe it's a more intuitive spell than I would think, but the most common mistake for Nami R is just being a little bit too hasty with it. So it's like there are two ways that it could kind of fail. One is you're doing it a little bit too quickly, and then you don't get as much CC as you can because the CC scales with how long the wave has traveled, if you guys didn't know that.
Yep.
And another is just trying to do too much when you're not exactly sure how the fight is panning out, and then you've just altered the wrong direction. So I say to just like wait for a result for the fight. Like once you are confident the fight is winning, then you can ult and you can kind of cut off the choke or where they're reliably going to be exiting towards. Or once the fight is losing, then you can ult to just disengage everyone that's going to be predictably running forwards. And so if you just wait for a result first, you're going to have a very high percentage of landing your ult.
Holding R.
I love holding abilities.
Yeah.
It's a very common learning objective I set for people. Okay. So yeah, learning objectives then. What do you sort of set for people a lot of the time?
Yep. So apart from just having a sense of urgency in the lane, because this is all like I can give you concepts and I can explain why things should happen, but I need that mindset.
Yep.
I need that shift in your brain that is like, I'm going to try to dominate lane. I will win lane. I will get the shove. I will come out of lane in an advantageous spot and I will take control, because a lot of people, like we were saying at the start, just are too comfortable sitting back under their tower, scaling, and then thinking that that's their job and that's what they should do. So it's kind of that mentality shift and being really deliberate with using their spells. So making sure that you get bounces on the W, getting damage and healing value out of that. With the E, I talk about getting at least 2 out of the 3 procs with the E, because it gives you kind of 3 things. And then you want to be reactive with your E. A lot of people just like fling an E on an ally and say, go use that. And then it doesn't happen, you know? So you need to be proactive and encouraging with your pings and body language, and you need to be reactive with your E. Like if you see your ADC is trading, then you press E. Or if they're very close to trading, then you press E. Or even if a projectile is in the middle of the air, then you press E.
Yep.
So if you're getting a couple procs of E, if you're getting your W bounces, if you're using your Q once they have been slowed by your E, and you're waiting for a result for your ult, then you're just fighting well on Nami, and that's what we need.
That's big 20%ers. What are some mental blocks people have with Nami, or to like not pick the champion or whatever it is? I mean, obviously a lot of people are picking the champion, but you know, let's say you're recommended as someone, they say, it's not for me. What's the?
I feel like people are scared of Blitzcrank and Pyke and Nautilus. Do you see a lot of Nami versus Hook Champ VODs?
I think they are a little bit scared of Hook Champs. Honestly, she's one of the champions that has the fewest narratives and mental blocks that I've ever coached. I think people are very comfortable picking her up. They understand why she's easy to execute and how to win games on her. It's just the main mentality shift. That's the biggest hurdle to get across. Is like you can dominate early, but once they kind of understand that, then I've had very, very little issues or narratives to break down with this champion.
Fascinating. Sounds like Nami is awesome. All right, next up here is Thresh with a 13.8% pick rate. So this is just wild to me. Given the Nathan Mott narratives, Thresh, I probably have a 10% win rate with Thresh on my team. Thresh, I have when I say a Thresh on the enemy team, I'm like probably going to win the game.
Wow.
On my team, I will probably lose because I find that it just gets outscaled. The W is maybe something you need to more coordinate with comms, potentially more so with the AD carry, or the Thresh players just can't hit a hook.
If you say so.
That's awesome. I love it how you didn't talk about E, which is like the main thing that Andy talks about in the Thresh guide is like disengaging and being that displaced. Yeah. But so Thresh has a positive win rate. Thresh has a 51.
That's wild.
0.4% win rate.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm
I
surprised.
Suppose this champion lose every game.
I'm surprised you don't like Thresh because he's one of the best gang setups in the game with Flash and Flay and Hook and Lantern. And you like to play around
like,
bot.
Give me a Thresh Rex.
No,
come on, guys.
Yeah, that sounds,
Thresh Rex.
No, it's all good, and we'll do good in the lane, but we will lose that game.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? They can't close out games. It's like the classic, Caitlyn gets ahead in lane, loses, or Draven, they can't win the game, or Varus or whatever.
So your view of Thresh is a hook champion, right? Is this a common talk to us about Thresh, because I feel like, I mean, I'm passionate about Thresh. Thresh is like still my highest mastery champion in the whole game.
Oh yeah, you played a lot of Thresh. I remember playing against your
Thresh.
Thresh, and it was actually terrifying.
Yeah, we're going from one of the champions with the least narratives to one of the champions with the most. This champion has...
Nathan said it right there. Unloads of vomits.
So many people have narratives and mental blocks playing with, or playing as, and playing against this champion. So I think we need to do some clarification on this one.
All right.
So where do you want to start?
Tell us, inform us.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Thresh?
I'm interested.
The first thing that comes to mind is people give him an insane amount of respect 24/7. They're like, I don't know how to play against this champion. He's just going to hook me and kill me. There's no counterplay. And he's a champion that scales with basically how much respect you give him. So if you let him walk all over you, if you let him take the bushes, if you let him line up his hook, if you don't put him under pressure, overwhelm his mental stack, then he's scary because you just made him scary. But if you understand how these confidence-based champions like Pyke and Thresh, how they function, then you can start to make it harder for them to find their hooks. And if a Thresh misses his hook, he's just kind of like standing there, tail between his legs, awkwardly exiting, taking a lot of damage. Hook is on a huge cooldown, can't really do much on the back end. So if you can really understand Thresh's ins and outs, then you can put him under a lot of pressure. And his hook isn't easy to land, right? Because it does take a while to wind up. So that would be the main one. I want people to understand that he is not just a completely dominant, oppressive force that's going to kill everyone. Like, keep him out of the bushes, hit the minions, keep minions between yourself and him for longer. Because if he can't hit his hook, then he's suddenly not as threatening as you might think.
So when you coach, I know you've coached a bunch of people with Thresh, and you've got a lot of people results with the champion in the academy. What gets people results with this champ?
So 2 things. The first is people just constantly try to make highlight reel plays on this champion. And we're all about consistency on this podcast.
Yes, we are indeed.
So what I get is for people to stop trying to read minds and look for higher percentage plays.
People pick Thresh for the predict.
They do.
That's what they do. That's the curse of the Thresh.
So they don't care if they lose the game. They just want to get that clip.
Yeah, we want to flash predicts with the hook.
Yep.
Call it a day. Lose the game.
So when people stop doing that and they play more boring, they get results? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. That's one of the main reasons. I'll get to the second in a bit. But yeah, just helping yourself to land more consistent hooks, like using your flash flay into hooks, so you don't have to like read their mind, or hex flash flay into hook, or kind of tethering them, using the fog, moving forwards on last hits, or if they're going to predictably walk forwards for a last hit, then you can look for a hook. If they're near terrain and they can't juke in a certain direction, you can look for a hook. Just doing everything in your power to help yourself be able to land a hook without having to read their minds.
Yeah,
and sometimes,
I like that.
sometimes you do have to read their minds. Sometimes it's okay to just go and just have a 1v1 showdown and just try to predict them. Right place, right time for that. But people try to do that way too often.
Yeah, I feel like people intentionally go for hard hooks, where you're saying you should make the hooks easy on purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
So, go more in depth about what does boring Thresh gameplay look like?
Yeah, so this is going to tie into the next part that is super important for Thresh results, is being comfortable. I call him oh my God, I'm missing out. He flips the switch. That's
switch flipper.
The switch flipper. That's the one. Yeah. So he has two modes that you need to be able to switch between. He's in kill mode, or he's in like chill and peel mode. People are constantly in kill mode.
I see. Got it. Yeah.
They never know how to just chill and just peel and play front to back and create space and lantern and hook the front target. They're on the front lines 24/7 looking for crazy hooks.
Yep.
And then they miss, and then they get one shot and they die.
Yep.
And so that's like one of the biggest changes in people getting results on Thresh, is being able to just approach initially from a more chill and peel and create space mode. Because he's actually fantastic at doing that. Like lanterning a carry away is a huge deal.
Yeah, I want my Thresh on my head to flay, or behind me to lantern. I don't want my Thresh in front of me trying to hook the enemy like backline.
Yeah.
It's useless.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what my Threshers do.
Yes.
That's what a lot of Threshers do.
Yeah.
And so then it's been able to go from that mode to kill mode, because that's going to happen in the same fight. You do a good job in chill and peel mode, and then once you have done a really good job, you start to win. Then you flip that switch, you start killing everyone, you flash forward, you aggressively hook. But it's quite nuanced, and this is why Thresh is also one of the hardest champions and hardest supports in the game, is because you need to be able to intimately be aware of both of those modes and to be able to swap in the moment and to be able to read the situation. Should I be in kill mode? Should I be in chill and peel mode? I have like some concepts for that, some points of reference. Like if you had a number advantage, of course you can be in kill mode. If it's even numbers, generally we're approaching from chill and peel mode. If your jungle's not ready to do stuff, then you're in chill and peel mode. But at the end of the day, you have to understand both of them.
Does Thresh generally just want to play numbers advantage fights? Is he a team fighter, or is he more of a pick champion?
So this is where it's going to start depending on the enemy champions as well. If you're against a ranged support, and this is probably what Mr. Mod is feeling over here, where his Threshers are getting outscaled and they become useless because
I'd say also for team fighting wise, because there's so many bodies around, like the tanks, is like their Q's completely rendered useless. That's why I think about it. Like that's why they can't team fight.
Okay, because they might be in kill mode when they shouldn't. But Thresh can do a great job team fighting against melees, because the melee engager is trying to engage, and then you have your hook and your lantern and your flay and your box and your range. It's so hard to get through the Thresh.
You can hook like 10 times, because the hook refunds when you hit a champ. So if you max Q, you can see mid-game team fights as Thresh, where you're literally hooking a tank, hooking a tank, hooking a tank. It's crazy.
Yeah, you just chain CC the front target, and then eventually you're going to kill them, and then you start to go kill mode and kill everyone. But yeah, you can be more comfortable with operating in the team fight mode against melees, and then against ranged champions, Charlie, that's where you want to look for number advantage, you want to look for picks. You're building Swifties instead of Lucidities. You're controlling the mid bushes and looking for hooks between, people moving between lanes and in jungle and collapsing on sides decisively. So it's harder to win when the onus is on you to keep your foot on the gas and to kill everyone, or you get outscaled. So, and you do get outscaled by ranged champions, because you're going to struggle to provide the utility, and you don't have a long enough engage range to kind of catch out a Lulu and a Milio and a Sona.
So you said that Thresh is one of the hardest. Is he the hardest support in the game?
He's top 2.
Top 2.
I think he's probably the hardest, actually.
Harder than Pyke.
I think he's harder than Pyke. Yeah, Pyke can be quite unforgiving, but I think Thresh is slightly harder. I think getting high value out of all of his spells and understanding how to kill the Nexus. Because Pyke, he's very one-dimensional, right? Like, he's really good at skirmishing and picking, and he cannot or does not want to team fight. So it's like, okay, I have that frame of reference. I can kind of give it a go. But Thresh, he's so fluid. You have to be able to swap not only in the same game, but in the same fight
Yeah.
between how you're approaching it, that I think his skill ceiling is really, really high.
So then, when would you recommend someone play Thresh or have it in their pool, if at all?
And should they OTP if they do play it?
Yes, you OTP or nothing. He is not a champion that rounds out pools. If you're good at him, you can play him in any situation. And he is not a champion that's just going to, round out a comp or like be a great counter pick. Like maybe in professional play, you'll see a Thresh there to provide Lantern for immobile carries to kind of make it hard for other champions to get on top of them. But that's not what we're looking for. It's one trick or nothing.
Do you find that the OTPs that you've seen of Thresh have had a very rewarding league journey if they're successful with it? Do you think that the skills you learn on Thresh make you a very, very good League of Legends player?
I think it makes you a very good Thresh player, and I think they enjoy the challenge and they love the champion. But it wouldn't be my first recommendation if you're looking to climb and improve. I think I'm a big believer of climbing quickly and then being in a tougher, more competitive environment. Like I don't want someone in gold to try and have a really well-rounded pool so that they can learn different perspectives. I want them to just speed run to master if possible. And then, while you're doing that, you pick up so much more of the higher level play around you.
I like it. Attention support players and all the roles. We Teach League Bootcamp number 8 this weekend starting Friday, February 27th to March 1st. It's a 48-hour event. What can people expect, Charlie?
1 ticket to the bootcamp gets you 3 games of coaching, which means you join our specific bootcamp Discord. You're going to play 1 game, get coaching, play another game, get coaching, play another game, get coaching. You're going to walk away with a beautiful learning objective. You're going to know exactly what you need to work on. This time of year, Nathan, everyone's freaking out, right? The season's already started. Some people have reached their ranks. Some people are inflated. Some people are deflated. Everyone's confused. People are role swapping. They're freaking out, swapping champions and stuff. It's so important at this time of year that people double down on the process and really just figure out what the fuck's going on the Rift. So perfect time for a bootcamp. If you've been to one before, jump back in. If it's your first time, anyone can join, whether you're a member of our academy or not, and we'd love to see you there.
We'll see you guys on the Rift. All right, next champion, third highest pick is Lulu with a still positive, is that 50%?
I'll do the reading, Nathan. That is a 50.53% win rate with a 10.86% pick rate.
All right, what do you think of
Lulu's in 10% of games.
Yeah.
That doesn't, I don't believe
Doesn't
that.
compute.
It doesn't comport with me. It's a fake stat, as I would say. Yeah. Do you say Lulu in 10% of your games? Surely not.
I didn't even see Thresh in.
Yeah, nor do I, actually. Nami's in every game, though.
Yeah.
I wonder how much DOQ plays into these stats because
That's a really
she's
good call.
like one of the
ultimate
elite, the
Oh,
ultimate
the COD
DOQ
Lulu, the
pick.
Twitch Lulu. It is fun.
Lulu Nara.
Yeah, Lulu is
popping
a
up.
newer one for sure.
Yep.
So what are some first things that come to mind with Lulu? Is it popular?
We were chatting about Lulu. What were you saying about Lulu yesterday or today?
Well, I mean, Lulu's just she's definitely misunderstood. She has quite a lot of early power. Her passive has absolutely no cooldown. And so, I mean, she's one of the biggest, misunderstood champions. Like, people will just do nothing with her, be really reactive with their spells and their clicks and their movement and just sit on their ADC the entire game, whereas she can do so much in an extended fight.
Yeah.
So understanding, like, how to abuse. I mean, your passive having damage and no cooldown is broken. And if you can fight hard early, then you should. I get a lot of my students to go Nimbus Cloak instead of Mana Flow because their whole rune setup is just turbo scaling. And I'm like, just give Nimbus a go. Just start right-clicking, use heal to extend that fight a little bit more. But at the end of the day, like, at her core identity, she is going to be really obnoxious for assassins to play into. And she's going to, of course, buff hyper carries, some of the best in the game.
She's got such an interesting kit because she's one of the few champions in the game where the E and the W have 2 use cases. You can do the obvious one, which is I'm just going to hang back and I'm going to EW my AD and hope that I win the game. Or you can be an absolute beast and you can polymorph to cancel spells. You can polymorph assassins when they jump in. You can E people for damage in lane. You can EQ off minions to snipe people. I feel like there's so much like creativity with Lulu, right?
Yeah. And I think it's somewhat clear-cut how you should generally use your spells. I don't want W's early on any allies because those are more like ramping stats, and the polymorph is going to be much more effective. And then E, it's generally going to be shielding damage, but of course you can put it on an enemy's head if you're doing well and you want to fight really hard, especially against like, melee's level 1 or something. So there is a lot that you can do, but I think as long as you understand that she can shut down assassins really well and she can buff hyper carries really well, if you have a really valuable polymorph, that's what I would be leaning towards. If anyone has played an assassin before into a Lulu, and then you
Polymorph the Rek'Sai when he tunnels in.
You just get turned into a chicken for 3 seconds and then you can't play the game.
Yeah.
And then you get knocked up for a second and a half and then you can't play the game.
Yeah. Well, my timing is just immaculate on Rek'Sai. So either she can't react to my knock up or she's used her abilities and then I'm going to kill someone else or something like that. So yeah, that doesn't apply to me.
Doesn't apply.
So what about what are the common mistakes? Again, Lulu VOD has come to your session. What are some things you're focused on instantly?
Yeah, stop sitting under tower. You can do more. You can abuse your passive. You can right click. You have area. You have range. You don't have to give as much respect as you think. And so it's kind of like twofold, because the thing about Lulu against other ranged champions is she's going to lose short, concise trades. Like her kit isn't designed to trade with like a Nami W or a Karma Q or something. Like you really want to be able to abuse your passive basically. And so the best form of defense is offense a lot of the time. You just start fighting really hard and sprinting at people. And if you can have an excuse to do that, like if you've baited out their cooldown and then suddenly you can land a Q, spam ping forwards, press heal, use your passive like 5-6 times, then you're going to be in a really good spot. And so getting people to understand that and play around with that is something that has been very valuable for the Lulu players in the academy.
I feel like from an AD carry perspective, the most annoying thing the Lulu can do is simply walk into the middle bush, shield themselves, and then just start auto-attacking people. That's like bread and butter annoying Lulu, because what do you do? There's no counterplay. You can't hit her back because she's got a shield on you, and she's doing more damage because of her passive. Especially early levels, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
Is Lulu Q hard to land? I feel like people miss Lulu Q a lot.
Yeah, you need a reason to press it. Like some spells are easier to land than others. Like let's just take an example. Like Sona's Q is really easy to land, point and click, long range. And then Lulu's Q, much shorter range, not point and click. So you're going to need a pretty good reason. If you're against a melee, that's going to be pretty easy to land. But otherwise, yeah, we're on the lookout for an actual reason to press it. A handshake trade, that's, it's not going to be favorable for you, but that's a way that you can land it. It's like, hey, enemy support, you want to trade with me? Then I'll land my Q. Maybe if they're missing their cooldown, then you can brute force that a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Or the enemy ADC is going for a last hit, and then you can predictably land it. Or you're casting it from fog, and they can't react to it as much. Stuff like that. I mean, you don't want to be Eing on minions and then just landing a Q, because your Q isn't a great poking spell. It just helps you to apply some CC and to get your passive pumping in the early game more so.
I got a hard question. Can you carry as Lulu? Can Lulu win games? Like how much agency? Because we spoke about Nami and Thresh. I can absolutely see how a Nami and a Thresh, by being at fights and playing fights well and like using your spells proactively, I can actually contribute to a goddamn win. Can Lulu carry a game? Can you win as Lulu?
Or is it up to your duo Q partner?
It's up to whether her champion's going to be useful in the game. Okay. So if you have a hyper carry ADC that you can play for, and or if they have assassins, then she can.
Okay.
But otherwise, you're gonna have a tough time. You're just going to try to outplay. So she has much less agency in that regard.
Okay.
So, I guess there's a bit of a broader conversation as well with like enchanters. You know how the big theme of this podcast is being more aggressive, especially with these range champions. But people get results still with these champions, like not doing your mindset. Like what
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Like what up to what point or what rank or even master tier players you look at and they're just playing still so defensive. Like why is it that these champions can still get results? Because people will be saying, yeah, that's all cool, but I don't need to do that to win games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on who you're playing against as well. Because if the enemy support is also just kind of chilling and vibing, then I guess someone's going to win that game, right?
Yeah, someone's going to be more useful during the vibe, and the Sonas are more useful doing the vibe, right?
Yeah, and enchanters, they have a low skill floor, so the enchanter class is like one of the easiest roles or classes to do very little on and still be useful. Like you won't be able to get away with this on an engager or like as a bruiser top laner or a mid mage or something.
Yeah.
So you get away with a lot. I think the standard is just generally very low for the community for what enchanters should do and what their role is. So I can't explain fully why they would get results. It's that type of play is easier to get away with, being reactive and outscaling. And if a Lulu or Sona is just kind of sitting under their tower the whole time and the game reaches 30 minutes and the enemy has a Thresh or a Nautilus, then you're probably going to win without doing much anyway.
And games do go longer the lower rank you are.
Yeah.
And they're also not ruining the game, right?
That's a big thing,
We're going to get to
actually,
the
yeah.
next champion on the list, Nathan, not Nautilus. But Nautilus is ruining games. Lulu, Sona's players, they don't ruin the games in the same way, right? Nautilus has ruined games hard. Like the Sona players, like just kind of chilling. So, sorry, you go.
I just want to inspire people that you can do both. You can dominate lane, you can be at fights, and you can still team fight and scale up.
Yep.
So this is a bit of a hypothetical, but if the whole community, you know, let's say this whole message spread and actually got onto people and people actually all started playing, you know, trying to push the limits with these enchantments and all that, would Riot just be having a meltdown? Like, how do we balance this? Like,
Because are they OP?
yeah, it's sort of saying that like if people are getting results doing pure passive, if they start playing them aggressive, like, is that the reason why Riot doesn't really need to touch these champions that much? Because the community just sort of has low standards, as you say.
I think they would be OP. If people figured out how to win lane on enchanters and then scale, they would be pretty unstoppable. That's a good point. But it's a deeper question of skill ceiling. So it's like enchanter skill floor is quite low. And then it goes engager skill floor. And then engager skill ceiling. And then enchanter skill ceiling. So to get the absolute most out of a ranged champion with shorter cooldowns and utility is really, really hard. But you don't have to reach that skill ceiling to find results and to be effective. So if people can approach that skill ceiling on some of these ranged champions, I mean, it's not that easy. You're just going to have to be incredibly good at the game and have an absurd amount of game knowledge and awareness and everything. But I mean, if everyone's kind of reaching towards that ceiling, then yeah, Ra would have to make some changes.
Fascinating. All right, let's talk about Nautilus, my main support champion. Always got a 30.
Notorious. on the server.
Rocking my 40% win rate every season. I think I have got a positive win rate with him.
You're more of a Braum player this
Yeah,
season.
I am.
We still need to change your champion pool. I don't know why you're sticking with that guy. Just
Because I think he's the easiest hook champ in the game. Like, I think I would much rather have a Nautilus on my team than a Thresh. I will win most games with Nautilus because Nautilus
The
can
win
be
rate
useful.
that says the opposite.
Yeah, I know, the win
Nautilus
rate's
has like
negative.
49% win
Yeah.
rate.
But do you have to play a hook champion? Are those the only supports that appeal to you?
Yeah, I want to get.
Well,
I wanna
he's
do
a melee
things.
player.
Yeah,
I mean,
need
there's
melee
so
champs,
many
yeah.
more melee champions that I'd rather you play that you would have more success on. So this is the thing.
I want
about-
to see Mon on Leona personally.
Exactly.
I think that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
So you think
Yeah.
Leona's a superior champion to Nautilus?
Absolutely.
You think? Why?
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. So the thing about Nautilus is, sure, his hook is very forgiving, right? Like it's easy to land it in lane, it feels good, but it's actually very hard to fight on Nautilus because he can't access the backline at all, right? His hook just gets blocked by frontliners. And then his ult is quite slow and clunky and not the longest range either. So basically, team fights are a no-go. And then he also isn't good in extended messy skirmishes, which happens a lot in League of Legends.
He's more of a short burst.
Yeah, you find your hook and then hope
Plays
that
on.
you did that really well and then just chill and move on. But a lot of supports like Alistar, like Rell, like Leona, they can actually get stuck in there and be really useful for an extended period of time. So it's like on one hand, he's simple to understand, but on the other hand, he's actually deceptively hard to win as the game goes on and to be useful in fights, and he gets outscaled quite hard.
Yeah, well, of the top, what is it? 13 champs I'm looking at right now, go to top 15. He's the only champion aside from Alistar with a negative win rate in the top 15 most popular.
Not surprised.
That computes.
Yep,
Yeah.
he's hard to
You're,
fight well
you're
on.
contributing to the
Yeah,
winners.
I am
to the
contributing
winners.
to that, I guess. Yeah.
So why is that? So obviously, like,
But people still pick Nautilus, right? So people are losing games. Like, I'm still losing games and I'm picking Nautilus. So are we all just mental patients, the league community? Like,
I
what's
feel like
going
there's like a thing with Nautilus that you just feel like you're doing your duty. You know what I mean?
on? Yeah.
I feel like it's like a complete counter narrative, which you can attack this and Cupcake. It's like lock in Sona. your team hates you, but you're going to win. Look in
Yes.
Nautilus, everyone
Loves you,
loves
that's
you, but you
true.
are likely to bomb the game.
There's something so attractive about Nautilus for
I
some
can
reason.
see that.
Yeah.
I can't even describe it.
How fucked is I love playing with Nautilus. You know, I did an experiment, right? When I was playing a shit ton of Kai'Sa, I tracked my win rate with like engaged supports like Nautilus and then enchanters and mages. I had a higher win rate with the enchanters and mages.
Really?
And
With Kai'Sa?
I lost most games with Kai'Sa Naught.
Way.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. I think it's just like we were saying, it's just hard to actually win the game on Nautilus. I think it's quite sexy of a counter pick to ranged lanes. Like he feels really good in lane against Lulu's, Milio's, Janna's, and all of that. And like not everyone's a Pyke and a Blitzcrank player, so they'll just kind of like go to Nautilus for that. But then the problem is games go long enough and you don't keep your foot on the gas and you don't know how to convert your lead and you get outscaled and you can't team fight. And then suddenly it's really hard to actually win the game.
It's the ARAM, right? The ARAM kills the Nautilus player. Whereas if the Nami or even the Lulu rocks up at the ARAM, they're very useful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not only that ARAMs, because ARAMs are going to be beneficial for enchanters against engagers in general, right? Like a Lulu or a Nami is going to be happier in a 5v5 than a Rell or a Leona as well. It's just that the Rell and the Leona are going to have more agency to actually get the fight started. Like Rell, flash engage, best primary engage in the whole game. Leona, she can E-flash, she can get onto the back line. Her ult is long range as well. But what's a Nautilus going to do? Can't do anything.
He's not even tanky.
Not
No,
really.
you're not
No.
Like compare Rell, Leona, Ali, like you said, to the Nautilus. The Nautilus is dying.
Yeah. Yeah, he's squishier. He's worse in the mess, and he can't access the backline in team fights either. So he gets outscaled, he struggles. And it's kind of clunky to actually coordinate a win on Nautilus. Like you have to understand exactly when to pick your moment. So you want to look for a lot of picks around the middle of the map, like just creating fog and finding hooks around there. You also want to be like really, I can tell you're paying a lot of attention now, Mr. Mott. Yeah, you want to
Taking notes.
you want to pounce on 2v2s in the mid lane actually. So you know how like
Nathan's strength is not 2v2.
No.
so there's going to be windows of downtime in the mid game, in the mid to late game, right? Like when solo laners are catching waves and when junglers are on their camps, those are the moments where you need to go hard on Nautilus and make some moves on the 2v2. Because in a 2v2, you hook one target, you ult the other, you ult both of them, you're hard winning that 2v2. But if you wait for the map to organize and you know, for structure to come into play, then suddenly they're not as isolated and suddenly he's struggling with those numbers. So it's not that intuitive, but you know, there's definitely a way for you to get results on him.
So you don't recommend people playing Nautilus? If someone in the academy is like, I'm playing Nautilus, or you say, oh, here we go, we got a Nautilus VOD here. What is your response? What do you feel when you have to review a Nautilus game?
It's more people are wanting to pick up an engager and then I just recommend someone else and then I don't have to deal with the Nautilus. So I haven't reviewed a Nautilus in quite a while. I think people have picked up that my number one recommendation at the moment is Leona. It has been Rell in the past, but Rell is just not in a good state in the meta generally right now. So I'm just going to be recommending Leona instead. And Leona is just going to teach, I mean, we'll talk to her when we get to her, but she's going to teach a lot of things better. She's going to be better in the meta. It's going to be easy to find results on her. So, yeah, I haven't reviewed too many Nautiluses. And when I do, I have to really stress how he gets outscaled, what kind of fights he does and doesn't want, and then the Nautilus-specific conditions that you really need in the mid to late game to not feel useless.
So it's quite a macro-based champion. Nautilus.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah, you really have to set up what you excel at and avoid what you don't. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble.
All right, the fifth most popular champion. I just realized all these next three are all Nathan Mott champions. Karma. I used to play a lot of Karma, but then I stopped playing Karma because I lost a lot of confidence with her.
You should have no confidence with
I
can't imagine you playing that champion.
If I miss my first two mantra Qs in lane, is it end of review?
You should never miss a mantra Q. I don't believe in end of review, but you should always be able to land an RQ. The game isn't going to instantly end, but we're going to have to do some digging onto how we can land that RQ.
Great. I'm going to go back on
Are you
Karma.
timing it with last hits? Are you throwing it from the bush? What's going wrong here?
I don't know. I'll have to look at my gameplay.
He's pissing it out.
Yeah.
So this is the thing about Karma's Q is you actually don't need any setup to land it. I call it the lollipop RQ. So you know how there's like a projectile initially, and then it splashes, and then it kind of looks like a lollipop. So you want to hit them with the lollipop portion of it.
Right.
You don't want to rely on the skinny hitbox with the initial projectile. And then if you find that lollipop range, because if you cast it too close, you're relying on the stick.
Yes.
If you cast it too far, of course, you're just going to miss. But there's going to be that sweet spot where you will catch them in that explosion and there's nothing they can do to dodge it.
Yep.
Because the explosion just hits them.
That's right. They'll throw it, you sidestep it, you think you've dodged it, and then that massive circle hits you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot that I talk about between, I call it either a naked Q, like just throwing it by itself without the R, or the RQ. And so the RQ, you have to have full confidence to land it at any time and put it on cooldown. I don't want you to be like holding it for 20 seconds, really lining it up and like, oh, this is a perfect moment. Like you've got to get it pumping because it has no
You're
cost.
meant to cast it on cooldown,
Yeah.
basically. Oh, I didn't
Interesting. That's what I did. I would hold it for the perfect. I was like trying to like do some algorithm calculus or something like that to try and hit my Qs.
Too smart for your own good.
Yeah.
Well, it has no cost, right? So you just want to get as many as possible in the lane. And so again, if you have that champion mastery where you have the confidence, you just hit it with no setup, then you got to take it.
So narrative around Karma is that Karma is just like win lane, lose game, right? Is that an outdated narrative? Does Karma scale a bit more now?
Yeah, it's outdated. I think, I mean, we don't have all of the patch notes in front of us, but Karma has been pushed towards more of a shielder and a scaler, and especially with the enchanter items. She's having a really good time now, just placing disgusting shields on her team. I'm sure we all have experiences of enormous health bars of shield
Just
placed.
the cooldown as well. It's just annoying. It's
A mantra E, cycle another mantra E. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so there have been a couple of different builds for her. Unfortunately, the Psycho build that I was a big fan of has been shifted out a little bit. Riot nerfed Mandate. They nerfed Zazax. They've probably nerfed some of her damage with her Q as well. And so now the way to find results on her is basically going to be to shield.
Right.
But she still has a lot of power in lane, and she still has a lot of agency in skirmishes. It's just you also have that backup of just hanging out with the boys and pressing E and then having a good time. So
Right. So does the game, like, very basic understanding of Karma is like in the early game, you want to be casting more mantra Qs, and in the late game, it's more mantra Es. Or is it actually a bit more complex than that?
that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You doing that, Nathan? Is that on the cards?
Yeah.
Good.
The thing about, so the tough thing about landing her naked Qs is it's a constant dance. Like you have to be always on the lookout. You have to be extremely like opportunistic. You have to be moving between the top side of the lane and the bottom side of the lane, which is one of the only supports I recommend you do that on, because you really want to be matching the ADC and splashing. And so there are so many like different ways that you can be on the lookout to land a Q. Like you can land it on the melees when they're coming from, when they're entering the lane and they're kind of by the tower. You can land it on the range when they've organized and the enemy ADC is kind of heading your wave.
And then the Karma builds AP and does that and steals my 3 minions.
Okay, yeah, hopefully not that too much. You can just have like generic skill shot landing techniques, like casting it from fog, punishing last hits, casting it near terrain, casting it when it's shorter range and harder to dodge. But that's the main crux for Karma in lane is, can you land Qs? If yes, you're going to stomp, you're going to have a good time. If no, it's going to feel bad and you're not going to have as much power as you should.
So does she need to win lane? If she scales well with the items now, do you feel the same pressure?
You don't, no.
Interesting.
I think like because you're going 3 points Q and then you're maxing E, and because your one item spike isn't that powerful, then if you don't win lane, you're going to be a little bit behind the curve on other enchanters, like with a Sona who loves her Helia spike, or with someone else who's immediately maxing their scaling spell and getting to those breakpoints faster. So she really comes online on like 2 and 3 items. But when you have one item and you don't have 5 points in your E, then, you might do a little bit less than other enchanters.
I'm noticing this column here, Nathan. I think these are the 3 worst matchups. So the worst matchups for Karma are Blitzcrank, Sona, and Maokai support. Does that align? Like Karma sucks into Blitzcrank, Karma sucks into Sona. Is that...
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
I mean, Blitzcrank against any squishy or mobile enchanter is probably going to have a good time, especially if they're more shield oriented and he can break the shield. I'm surprised that it's one of the worst win rates, to be honest, because you still have to land the hook and Karma can just kind of chill behind people and outscale them really hard. But I guess like a good Blitzcrank, it'll be pretty tough for a Karma to do what she wants. Sona's pretty easy to understand. She's just going to outscale you. Plain and simple.
So how hot are you on Karma for recommending her to people?
She's like the 3rd or 4th enchanter that I would recommend. Like Sona and Nami are elite. And then Karma, she's in a good spot. She is consistent, but she has a pretty steep learning curve.
Yeah.
Like you have to learn when to use RQ, RW, RE. You have to play that dance and be super opportunistic to set up your Qs. You have to understand her limits because she can be really annoying in skirmishes and fights to the death in messy little situations. So you have to understand how much damage you can deal and take. You have to do a lot of, spacing and tethering to get the most out of the champion. Sure, you can just chill and press E on people and have an okay time, but there's so much more that you can do, and her skill floor is higher. So if people want a bit of a challenge on a champion that can be rewarding and is still strong in the meta and scales reasonably well, then she's a good spot. But if you want like the cheat codes for just fast LP now, click here, it'll be a different champion.
Little tangent before we move on to the next champion. You said that thing you were talking about, like moving from the top half of the lane, firing spells, waiting for the AD carry to hide behind the minions, and quickly moving to bot side. Something I talk about with Ezreal as well is I like doing that on Ezreal. Most AD carries like being top and supports being bottom, whatever. But yeah, Ezreal I like swapping as well. Do you have a term for that?
No, I just
we
say
need to invent something for this.
Yeah, I just say you got to play the dance.
Play the dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of suits because I call her something dancer as well, the dual identity dancer.
There you go.
And she's kind of flowy and
Okay, I
dancey
see it,
as well.
I see it.
So it's one of the only champions. I
Cool.
mean, I talk about Bard being topside for like portals, but
Okay.
she's the one that's like really dancing around to find her cues.
All right, next up this is just going to be, I'll be chatting about this one.
You're the best bro on the server.
Braum. So, Braum Cupcake. What do you think about Braum? Is Braum do you need it to be last pick, counter pick? You can't blind pick Braum. How reliant is it on the champions that you play it with?
Braum's just the king of 2026, I feel.
Is it just in a really good state? Why does it become weak and why does it become strong?
Yeah, he's been strong for quite a while now. On paper, he should be one of the worst champions to blind pick because he just does not have enough threat and can't deal with range. But on paper, he has had a lot of success in solo queue and has had quite a high pick rate. So I think it's been easier for him to just get through the lane. And I mean, he's really effective at shutting down melee champions, right? Like that's kind of Braum in a nutshell. Like you can't really engage through him. It's really easy to execute against melee champions. There are always going to be a couple melee champions on the top side of the map anyway. And I think Wright has put quite a lot of stats into his kit over the last couple years. And now they're slowly kind of tuning back on that. But honestly, I'm still not 100% sure why he has such a high play rate and win rate.
His highest win rate of the top 6.
I think it makes sense, though, because if we're all discussing about these enchanter players not playing to their limits and these mage supports playing quite safe and stuff, then the Braum is just going to get through lane for free and then just be incredibly useful. Like you said, if there's melees elsewhere, because all the melee, every jungler is a melee champ at the moment. The bruisers in the game are OP, right? There's like Ambessas running around, Zahin's running around, and Braum does really well into his heroes, right?
Yeah, he gets through lane, but so will the Lulu and the Sona. And then it's a question of who's going to be more useful. And maybe I'm underestimating how useful Braum is just out of lane with being tanky and just his passive is pretty broken for sure. Is it more broken than a Sona pressing all of her spells or a Lulu just kind of buffing and peeling and providing so much more utility? My instinct says no, but the win rate is saying something else.
Well, how do you win on Braum? What does it look like? Because you win in the mid game. You don't win in the early at all.
I lose every lane phase. I think it's more my skill set. I'm just very good at peeling. Like even Nautilus, I play more to peel with Nautilus than I get results with.
Mental.
And Braum's just the ultimate peeling. You know, I'm literally like the way that I think about Braum is like I always know where my AD carry is, and I had my finger over W to press an E on my AD carry. And that's pretty much all I'm thinking about. I don't do stupid Rs. Like I don't R engage or even Qs. I probably miss so many opportunities to Q. I just hold my kit and let them come into me.
And you're an auto attack based Braum.
Yeah.
He's auto attack.
What do you think about this play style? You know, I know that I'm completely underutilizing Braum in a lot of situations, but I do get results with it.
Yeah, I think people maybe aren't comfortable just scaling against the Braum. And if you don't jump into him, then he can be pretty useless.
That's right,
And you
yes.
can just use your range advantage. If people are just funneling into Braum, then maybe he's going to win a lot of games. Maybe like Alawi in lower ranks, like people just
Like MF
jump
as well.
into her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's crazy how many times I can tag a range champion, which I should not be tagging at all. So maybe it's just, you know, the players.
The nature of solo queue, I
the
think.
nature of solo queue, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
so-
these champions that counter Braum. We've got the Cupcake Zilean,
Oh yeah.
Rakan, which is an awesome,
Yeah,
and
Zilean,
Senna.
I'll auto lose. Yeah, and Senna.
Those are
Those
three.
make
That makes
sense.
perfect sense, right? Those
Yeah,
champions.
Yeah, I will auto lose against a Zilean or a Senna on Braum 100%.
So why do they like? Why is Braum so bad into Rakan, Senna, Zilean, stuff like that?
Well, Senna and Zilean are different beasts, so they scale insanely well, and they have a
Yeah.
lot of utility, and their spells are not going to be countered by Braum in any way. Like Sona's ult or Nami's ult are going to get blocked, and then there's kind of like something that you can get from that matchup for Braum.
Yep.
But yeah, you can't block anything for Senna. Zilean, he's such short cooldowns, you're happy to just kind of double bomb him as well.
Yep.
And then, yeah, you can just really abuse your range and your agency advantage. You have shorter cooldowns, you have more utility, and you can just overwhelm him. For the Rakan, it's a little bit different. Rakan, the way that Braum counters engagers is they engage and then they get cued in the face and then they get stunned and they lose on the back end. But Rakan, he can jump in and he can jump out.
Okay.
And nothing's blocked by Braum either.
Yep.
So he can really pick his moments, and you can never lock him down. So he's just constantly finding plays and getting out, and you're constantly reacting, but you can't use your kit to really lock him down. So Rakan has a lot of agency, he's under no threat, and then he just kind of, does whatever he wants.
That lines up. So what about learn objective you set for Braum players?
Do you coach Braum?
Braum's pop up every now and then. I try not to recommend him, again, because just the nature of how he thrives against melees and really struggles against ranged. So
he's very binary. Like there's not much to really. You think he's easy to? Because I think he's a bit easier to play. To be honest, that's
he's
sort of why I play
easy
him.
to play against melee champions
Yeah.
and not against ranged
That's
champions.
right, yeah.
So when you're against ranged champions, then I'm encouraging more of being proactive and finding minions, especially in laning phase. People struggle against ranged matchups a lot with Braum. You have to jump forwards on minions to be able to threaten your passive. You have to take Ignite instead of like heal or exhaust. You have to take approach velocity instead of Cosmic Insight or whatever else people are building. And you just want to be on the lookout for that opportunity to, again, the best form of defense is going to be offense in lane. You have to, if you're just kind of hanging back, you're going to be useless. You're going to get poked out, shoved out. You're going to lose your tower plates. But if you can find that moment to have threat on the enemy range champions, then you're going to be in for a good time. I mean, outside of lane, it's not that unique. You're just trying to be with your teammates and then, fight well as well as you can around everyone else. And you're going to be able to be useful against all of the melee champions then, but it's getting through the range matchup that's the toughest for people to deal with. Melee matchup, I think everyone intuitively understands what you're doing. Just kind of chilling, peeling, being that shielder and that meaty front line for your ADC.
Should you invade? Because in my a narrative about Braum is that he has insanely strong level 1 because technically he can stun 5 people. He can set up a point and click stun super easily. Should you be level 1 invading? Should you just be 5 stacking the bot bush? Should you be just dominating that middle bush yourself? What do you do level 1 as Braum?
Yeah, the thing is it's season 16 now, right? So there's no
Yeah.
time. There's no time. Season 15 you could invade. Season 16, the most that people can do is to bring your jungler down to mid bush if there's going to be a bit of a fight, and then they can still have time to peel off to their camps. But if you 5 stack, you're griefing the other lanes. So unfortunately, that's just something that Braum has had to deal with the new season. Is just he was an exceptional level 1 champion for invades and stacks, but you can still have a lot of presence in bot mid bush. There's going to be a bit of a mini game for that. So yeah.
All right, next one is Milio. Now, I'm surprised to see this is so popular because I don't see Milios at all. Number 7. Maybe you think that you do see a lot of Milios. Is this another one of the scenario with the Lulu, like the duo?
I think he's going to be pretty high up there. He's easy to execute, and he is going to facilitate some ADCs much more than others. So I feel like Duo Q might be boosting that a little bit. I'm also more surprised because he was hit pretty hard this season with the Helia changes. He was an excellent abuser of Helia last season, and then this season Helia has changed where it's more about the damage that you do, and he doesn't do damage. So you shouldn't be building Helia on him anymore. It's more just like building those big ticket heal shield items. But that hurt him. So I'm surprised. I don't see Milios very often. But with that said, he is more of a counterpick against enemy champions than Lulu can be. He is excellent against engagers, especially those that are jumping forwards. The hook champion's not as much because his Q isn't going to disrupt that engage at all, but his Q can disrupt an Alistar, a Rell, a Leona, a Rakan, really, really hard. And his ult can really shut down some hard CC champions as well.
How easy is that to disengage with the Milio Q? Because I feel like that's an ability where it sounds awesome in theory, but in practice, no one does it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, people in practice, they just kind of hang around and press E and W on their ADC from a screen away and then hope they scale up.
Yeah.
So it is tougher.
Or they Q minions and bounce the Q onto people.
Yeah. It's tougher than it sounds for sure. It's somewhat easy to do for yourself if you're anticipating it. Like if you're just facing off against a Rell and you're just holding your Q and spamming orders and then you're just reacting to them jumping forwards. But what is really tough is to peel your ADC. So if you're not like in line with your ADC, then it's much harder to be able to disrupt, right? Like if you're on the bottom side of the lane, your ADC is on the top side, and then a Leona is Eing across the lane, and you have to hit like basically a perpendicular Q. That's much harder than just like a head-on Q.
It's like shooting a clay target at that
Yeah,
point.
it's really, really hard. So then you have to just have a think about the matchup and like, am I going to be standing more on top of my ADC, or can I actually take some space on the bottom side of the lane? But it's a lot about anticipating the engage spell, right? Because that's what allows Milio to dominate melee matchups so much as his Q. And if you can use it well, then they can never get on top of you. You can be really obnoxious, and you can win lane and scale through. And if you fail to use a Q, you can start to die quite a lot.
So how do you coach a Milio? How do people get results with this champ?
He is not very common. I have had very few sessions on him, but those sessions that I have had is stressing the importance of Q against melees, and also just understanding the power of his E, because it has a couple of charges. And so you can do quite a lot level 1 by just stat checking with your E. Like your passive's going to do some damage, you've got a couple of charges of E, so you can take a bunch of space with that. But honestly, he's a very easy to execute champion. There's not that much that I'm going to be talking about for execution. You just have a plan for your Q and your R, and then just kind of fling out W's and E's wildly, and you'll probably be fine in the team fights. Just don't die.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those champions where you don't have to have sexy gameplay to get results. You just kind of do the right thing, be at the right place at the right time, use your spells reasonably well, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, and as you said, Charlie, you don't ruin Milio's. These enchanters, they don't ruin the game.
No.
Like they don't push it enough, as you're sort of saying, Cupcake. But that's what you could do. But yeah, you can still get results. And I assume that the pairings, the hyperscalers, really boost his win rate as well.
Yeah. It's like the Michael Jordan quote, like just give me the Milio W and get the fuck out of my way, and I'll just click him.
Milio W on Michael Jordan, that would be so OP actually.
The reach.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I think he's quite an intuitive champion. Like people just get that you should kind of hang back and stay alive and be useful for your teammates, and that kind of works for him. So I think that also is a factor to why he sees quite a bit of results.
All right, Leona. Now, I was trying to think, because I do like the idea of Leona, and I'm trying to think, you recommended me play Leona over Nautilus. Why do I not play Leona? She scares me. I think it's because...
He's having a conversation with him, so he's asked himself, why don't I play Leona?
Because
let's think about
the
this.
Q just feels nicer than Leona E.
No, but it's okay, so again,
The Nautilus Q feels nicer than Leona E.
is it easier to land?
It's easier to land,
The Leona E goes through minions. You can pair it with flash.
thin.
You can E flash to extend the range and catch people off guard. It's
And I
actually-
don't feel as strong in the early game compared to Nautilus in the first three. Once I get my W, I'm just bashing people with shield
That's
bash.
crazy. Leona's W is one of the best abilities in the whole game.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And Leona's
Explain.
Q is on like a 1 second cooldown.
Help me here, Cupcake.
Yeah, so
I'm right.
Nathan has a point where Nautilus is going to feel better in the early lane.
Okay.
So having like that shield is like those flat numbers do a lot more than Leona W for like level 1. But as the game progresses, then Leona W is going to become more and more
Leona's
powerful.
going to be more scaling.
Yeah, so but like absolutely, early lane Nautilus is going to feel better. The thing about Leona's E is it's skinny, but it's a deceptively long range. It's not like 500 range or something. I don't know the numbers, but it can hit
is.
range champions.
If you just hit the like that edge, it can go quite. It actually shocks me sometimes that Leona is a hit.
It's a reasonably lengthy spell, yeah. And then like Charlie was saying, you have a very short Q cooldown, and that's what differentiates Leona from basically every other engager. Is her extended fights are just unmatched. If you can find that second Q, you're winning. If you can find that third Q, they're dead.
Yeah.
Whereas Nautilus is more like short and concise.
All right, how do you climb with Leona?
you embrace your extended fighting and you understand how important it is to find those next Qs. A lot of
Click forwards.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of people just kind of engage and then they just start pretending like they're a turret and then just start auto attacking. But you have to get your Q off. You have to sprint forwards.
Yeah.
And then you find your second Q and you sprint in the direction you need to find your third Q. So
you're saying what people do is they go in, they do that first Q, and then they're just auto attacking, and
and then they run away and they're like, oh, I'll try and catch up, but then they can't find their second Q anymore.
Okay.
The best Leonas, they E, auto QW, and then they just put the shield up and they just walk at you, like waddling, not autoing, and then they smack you with the shield again, and they just do that constantly. It's very annoying.
Yeah. She's just one of the most pure and rewarding champions. Like, her kit is just so fun. Like, if you engage poorly, you're going to know. If you're out of position, you're going to know. If you embrace your identity well and you engage well, you're also going to know, and you're going to be rewarded. And I recently made a skill shot video that we're going to be putting on my YouTube down the road. And
It should be out by the time this drops. Yeah.
Okay. And I used a lot of Leona clips because if you can land her skill shots, she's just in a great spot. And like, her skill shots are not super fancy. It's not like a Bard Q where you have to like find terrain, or a Karma Q with like splashing. It's just like, here's a skill shot. Can you land it? If you do, you're going to be rewarded. If not, you're not. And so there's no like season 16 getting bailed out by a bunch of mobility or anything. It's like, you're there, you have a health bar. Sure, your W can help you, but it's no shield. There's no mobility.
So it's an honest champion.
Very honest.
And it's
an
easy
honest
to
day's
review.
work on Leona.
Yeah.
And you find it's easy to improve and review, for your self-learning journey.
I would say so. Yeah. What you're looking for is pretty clear. Like, can you land your spells? Can you find those extended fights and find that second Q? And if yes, you're going to be in for a good time.
So Leona ult, people miss it. They land the slow, not the stun. Is this what you see as well?
Oh, that's another reason why Nautilus ult's way easier to hit than Leona. Leona R feels
there is no missing the Nautilus
I've
ult.
been heading Nautilus ult.
Charles, I missed some crazy skill shots. The fact that I get a guaranteed hit excites me.
I'm going to bring it up now because I was thinking of this earlier.
Yeah.
Before, Cupcake was talking about Thresh flipping the switch and peeling and then diving. That Jarvan game I watched you play earlier today, where you were peeling and then you flipped the switch. And he was peeling on Jarvan. He like EQ'd the Malphite and the Mundo that were diving his AD. No one would play the fight like that. It's like really high level.
I could have
shit.
gone for the back line.
But he peeled, and then his EQ came up again after the front line died. He flash EQs, misses and dies. It was just like this. That's Nathan Mott, the switch flipper.
Yeah, I can't hit skill shots when I need to hit them.
I think the skill of you landing all of your Rek'Sai ults is translating to landing your Nautilus ults as well. So
Makes
that's
sense.
why.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you've
'cause
really
that
honed
makes
in.
sense.
Yeah.
So how do I hit Leona R's?
Yeah. How does he
Yeah,
do it? Does he need to
so-
watch your video or?
Yeah. Sign up for a session. I'll get you sorted. You can't land the stun all the time. So you're either landing the stun or you're getting them to juke in an awkward direction and getting slowed.
Ah, that makes sense.
So if they're juking in the wrong direction and they're getting slowed, they're basically stunned. And then you can get in Q range or you can land your E.
So you use it to like cut off their paths and stuff sometimes.
In a way.
So they can walk into your other abilities. Because yes, you have other stuns, or you don't have to get that R.
Yeah. It's like ideally there's like a little circle that's going to stun. Ideally you hit them on the edge so that if they keep walking like nothing's happening, they're just on the edge of the stun.
Yep.
And if they aggressively juke, they might still get stunned, but at the very least they're guaranteed to get slowed.
Yep.
The other thing about Leona's ult is it's a very short cooldown and it's non-committal. And so I ask people to just trade it for resources.
Yes.
Just fling it out. Who cares? Just get
Everyone
it.
was cleanse into Leo. So if the best Leos, they trade R for cleanse constantly, right?
Yeah, and in mid and lower elos, people can't be bothered taking cleanse. They won't.
And they can't use it even if they do.
Exactly. So then you just get free kills. But you can just trade it. Trade it for a flash. Trade it for a chunk. Trade it for a summoner. Trade it for, you'll get a kill a lot of the times. And it's just such a short cooldown. It's ridiculous. It can be up the whole time. So you're just flinging it out, getting stuff. And then that can help you for an upcoming team fight, right? Like if the ADC doesn't have flash or the mid laner doesn't have flash. Because you've used your ult earlier, then boom, suddenly it's in a mobile target with no flash. Easy to kill.
So do you find people very receptive when you recommend people to play Leona? Or if they're not, what do they say? Like, yeah, it's not really a champ for me.
I think people pick up on the clear points of reference and maybe a little bit of my passion. I absolutely love the champion. And I stream her a lot. I get good results. So I think people have been pretty receptive in playing the champion. And I think it's pretty fair to say that she is a bit of a purist champion very kind of, you can understand if you're doing the things that you should be or not.
Yeah. So Leona's your most played right now. Actually, I was looking up your account. 67% win rate. That's crazy.
They're using German right now for some reason, but there you go. Yeah, 67% win rate, 24 games. Lots
Crazy.
of Leona action.
I don't see anyone play Leona on our server except for Cupcake.
It's to be fair, it's not the easiest champion to find results on because of having no shield, having no mobility, and just playing engages in general is hard. Like it doesn't matter which one you're playing, you need to be very aware of what's going on. Like, is the enemy actually out of position? Can your teammates actually follow up? Do your teammates even have cooldowns? It's like you can land a 5-man Malphite ult and then no one's in range and then it's just useless and you die, right? So
it's just a boomer champ. It's like Alistar. I love
Alistar.
See, I love Alistar as well, but we're the league boomers. We've been playing for way too long. But the kids these days, they're flinging around their Milios and bloody, what else is there? Like Rakans, I guess, is also kind of, I don't know. Rell's not popular either. No one likes engages. I think it's just something to be said about the support role in general is that the kind of person that would be attracted to the support role isn't necessarily attracted to Leona. Those are just, they're playing jungle or they're playing top, the Leona players, I feel. So we need to get them role swapping to support, basically.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Bard. Is Bard your favorite champion? Or is Leona your favorite champion right now? Because Bard is your second most played.
Don't make me
60%.
choose, Nathan.
I think you have if you look at your mastery, you've almost got 1 million mastery.
points,
How did you do that?
On Bard.
Just a lot of Bard
That's
through the last decade, I guess.
A billion
Over
games.
a decade.
Wow. So you're the best Bard. Is Bard popular in the academy or in general?
Not as much. I think it's fair that he's not that popular because he does have a high skill ceiling. And that's no surprise, right? He's very unique. He can do a lot.
So why? Well, let's talk about, so where would Bard be on your list of hard champions?
Let me list my narratives for Bard.
Yeah, let's
so
hear some narratives.
people don't use the Q as a stun. They just pivot out and use it for poke. They tap the W on people instead of letting it sit. They...
Ruin games with R?
They roam too much.
Yeah,
they
roam
don't
too
lane.
much,
They
yeah.
sit. They
People
roam around the
hate
map.
playing with that. People get really
They
angry
gank
at
top.
Bards.
They literally gank top at level 3, level 4. And they can't hit an ult to save their life. That's all the abilities.
Or the ults they do hit is wrong time. They ruin a fight.
Yeah, they
That's about it.
Zonya's a teammate or an enemy at
Yeah.
the wrong time or something.
I think when people lock in Bard, they just get possessed by a demon that just makes them permanently roam. Like, I don't know why.
do, yeah.
It's just like they feel compelled to just permanently roam.
All right, let's talk about roaming. So what is your view on roaming? How do you win games with Bard, Cupcake?
Yeah, so season 16 is going to be a little bit different to season 15 because we're going to be a little bit more like bot focused with the quest and with home guards, getting people back in the lane a little bit more often. Fortunately, we can actually get through lane with the right rune setup. So, I mean, just thinking about Bard, he's not designed to win lane, right? He's designed to roam, use mobility, pick people. But with Electrocute and with Cheap Shot, you can actually have reasonable short, concise trades. Like if you play on your Q and your empowered passive auto attack on your Electrocute timer, you can actually get through lane at a reasonable pace. So
That's because he's one of the only champs in the game that can proc Electrocute with just 2 spells, right?
Yeah.
Auto plus Q is Electrocute for some reason.
Yep, exactly. And Electrocute was buffed some stage last year, does a lot of damage. So he can apply it easily. It really helps patch up the weakest part of his game, which is being stuck in lane.
Yep.
And then out of lane, you can do bad things. You can roam around, you can create number advantage. And you do have to do that. You have to pounce on skirmish opportunities. You have to isolate people. You don't want your bard to just constantly sit in your ADC. That's not really going to work. You have to you have to find that balance, right, of playing for lane early and then still achieving your champion's identity.
So what does that look like? Do you basically stay in lane till 6? Do you want to get your ult? Do you want to get your quest? Like when do you leave? Or is it more just like the opportunity has to be quite good to leave?
It's hard to just be really concrete about it. It's
Yeah.
more of a vibes thing, like around 10 to 12 minutes.
Yep.
You're going to be more playing with your jungle and
Because junglers are level 6. They clear camps way faster at that point. They're more active, things like that.
yeah, and your ADC is going to be more independent because they have more abilities and more items so that they can deal with minions easier. And you're probably going to have some move speed with boots and you can get around and people are going to be missing out on less. There's probably like a dozen different reasons why as the game progresses, you want to be more around your jungle and around the middle of the map as opposed to just stuck on the side of the map.
Yep.
But that's basically how it works on Bard. Like you're just trying to do your best in lane for around 10 minutes and then you're unlocked. And then you're going to be winning your mid lane. You're going to be linking up with your jungle and your ADC is going to hate you.
So what do you think it is that you know about Bard that no one else knows about Bard that you think is your edge to win games?
I think a lot of it is the discipline in lane, to be honest. People try to do so much. They're constantly auto-attacking, spamming out W, spamming Q, but understanding the precise trade windows is I win a lot of lanes on Bard, and you shouldn't really do that. So I know exactly which trades to take and when. I know when to preserve my mana to be using it for Ws instead of Qs. I know how to, I mean, if you're not losing lane and you're not getting dove, then you're just going to be one of the best scaling champions in the game. And if you've won lane and you have control of river and you're between mid and bot actively, the game's over. Like,
I see,
that's for sure a win for Bard.
So it's interesting. I would have assumed that you would have said, I just know how to roam better. I have better macro game knowledge. You're saying I just win lane and then the game's over.
Win lane, win game, and being decisive and landing skill shots. I mean, his Q is really, like Charlie was saying, you have to land the stuns. That's the number one feedback I give to my Bard students is you have to do everything in your power for it to be a Q stun.
Having played with your Bard a lot as well, I think it's also your dodging of skill shots, because you draw a lot of pressure just by simply walking up with the enemies and then back-clicking and dodging their spells. But a lot of the Bards are just getting poked low, and then they have to W more, which means they run out of mana, which means they have to go get chimes, which means I die. You know, that's the sequence of events that happens. But if you're full HP because you're dodging enemy spells but not standing at tower, like I feel like because you're winning lane and staying high HP on Bard, you know, whereas a lot of people play too aggressive or way too safe and just roam.
It's probably like a champ master on a ranged support. It's like you're so confident and comfortable with the trade you're taking, the spacing that you're doing, that you can just like move around very confidently. Your mental stack is completely freed up to just be as annoying as possible. And that's part of Bard's identity as well, is being really annoying. You want to just get messy and embrace the chaos and just start 1v1ing people, start 2v2ing people, start messing with the jungler on the crab. You always have your portal to get out of sticky situations. You do a lot of damage with the items that you're building as well. So it's just another champion that rewards not letting the ARAM happen.
Yep. I feel like he's on the list so far, he's probably the champion that screams limit tester to me the most, right? You want to be, like you said, very annoying and then portal out of the last second, piss people off, drag people around the map.
Yeah. And the other thing about Bard is like he has an exceptionally high skill ceiling, but he's more forgiving than Pyke and Thresh. Like if you mess up that, whatever, you'll just keep slapping them and chuck out a Q 5 seconds later. But if you mess up as like Pyke or Thresh, you look like a clown, you're going to die, you're going to kind of throw the fight. So I like people, if people want to challenge, Bard's the one that I would recommend because it's not as punishing. It's brutal to try and learn Thresh and Pyke. Like you're going to have rough times. You're going to feel like you're so bad at the game. People are going to flame you. But Bard is like you can just, you're pretty independent. You're hard to lock down. You have range. You have a little bit of utility anyway. So he's more comfortable in that regard.
So it sounds like you recommend Bard to people because, or don't you? Because I'm, you know, I feel Bard I'm connected with you in a way because I play Rek'Sai. I'm a Rek'Sai man, but I don't recommend Rek'Sai to people because she, I always stuff up the things for that one.
Nathan misgendering Rek'Sai again.
There's a top comment on my Rek'Sai guide. That's the context there, guys. I don't recommend her because it's just you win games in such a you need a lot of game knowledge and fundamentals. You're not really playing the champion, you're sort of playing the game to get really good results.
Okay.
Would you agree with that, or do you think it's a bit different? You actually recommend Bard?
That sounds like an Alistar or a Leona maybe.
Yeah,
like Bard, you have to be good at the champion. You have to be really, really good at the champion. And the reason I don't recommend him is...
So you don't recommend Bard?
No. It's like, if you want to challenge, do Bard instead of Pyke or Thresh. If you want to climb fast, there are going to be other champions that are going to be better for that, right? You have to have so many games on the champion and really have to understand his ins and outs and his limits very well. So, yeah, I think the only time I recommend Bard is when students are telling me that they want a bit of a challenge and they're Diamond Plus. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time for Bard. You've been put on the Sona and Nami duty for a couple months. You want something more exciting and creative. And he's actually he's a great pick to have in your pool as a support player. It's just like making that commitment can hurt your journey quite a bit in the short term.
You go down in ranks.
Yeah, but he's such a perennial top tier solo queue support. He's the best Bard players are always going to have really high win rates on him. And he's always going to thrive in the chaos, and solo queue is going to have a lot of chaos. And he's always going to find some runes or items to use because he has so many options that he's going to find a reasonable path to be strong in the meta as well. So like for long term, like having a bard in your support pool feels awesome. I've had him in my pool for like 11 years now, and I'm always whipping him out at good times to get some LP. But to get to that stage can be a bit of a commitment, and I wouldn't recommend it basically below diamond.
So what is it really good when you say when there's free LP in some games? What is it? Is it because the team comp? Like, what's a good bar game look like?
Two different things. The first is not going to be very, not very relatable for a lot of people. So in OS high elo, some of the games in the mornings are weaker, and so if I need to be the one to carry the game because there are lower ranked people, he's going to be a top tier pick. If everyone is really good, then it's more like utility and setting your teammates up. Otherwise, just punishing immobile champions, like just getting an ult on immobile carries. And
Jhin, Orianna, MF.
Yeah, exactly.
Felios, Jinx, even, It's so hard to burst. It's impossible to burst a good bar with those champs,
Yeah, and even the Lulus and the Milios as well, like they're just going to get locked up because they're going to be near the ADC as well. And then, that his ult being able to just lock down immobile champions reliably and then following it up with a Q stun is pretty tough to deal with. So he can be a bit better of like a counter pick than a Pyke or a Thresh in that regard. But if you're going to counter pick immobiles, I'd rather you play like a Leona instead because it's much easier to pick up.
Or a Nautilus. There's a lot of, maybe not a lot, but at least a few players in Bot Lane Academy who were Bard players who I noticed they dropped the Bard, they maybe moved to a Nami, boo, just skyrocket in rank. Back to the Bard, boom, back down. Happens all the time. So yeah, Bard's hard to climb on for sure.
Yep, Bard, Thresh, Pyke, Rakan. I make it very clear that these are not the champions for results. And then people go on Sona Nami and then they jump up divisions. So.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, let's talk about, it's funny back to back. These are all your champs. Leona, Bard, now Pyke. But you don't really play Pyke much anymore compared to these other champs. Like, talk to me. What are your feelings about Pyke? Teaching and playing Pyke, I guess.
Yeah,
what do you start with?
Pyke is brutal. Pyke needs a lot of mastery. I think he's the support that requires the most reps. Thresh has that extra layer of complexity, and Pyke has that insane champ mastery demand on you. So,
Pyke is a champ that is that's one like the Draven of support. Can win, get a lead, get a lot of kills. Maybe I literally versed the Pyke the other day. I think that was that Braum game that you were watching or something like that, Charlie.
You died twice before 3 minutes.
Yeah, I died twice before 3 minutes to a Pyke. And also as well, the Pyke got like a triple quadra kill, in the mid game, sort of like 12, 13 minutes and then just, still loses the game.
Yeah, you won that game.
Yeah, I won that game.
Yeah, he's the champion. He's the support that gets outscaled the most. And there's the most onus on you to keep your foot on the gas and to keep accelerating. That's not really a thing that you think about for support too much, but that's how Pyke works. Yeah, he's an assassin. He has a lot of damage. He's very squishy. He doesn't have the most utility. And so you have to be able to keep your foot on the gas.
His win rate scales with rank, I'm noticing. I look at the lower divisions and the Pyke starts to have a negative win rate once you get like below plat gold and then a positive win rate, emerald plus.
Yeah, that makes sense because he just scales really poorly, right? So if you don't know how to close games out on him, and that's going to be more typical for lower elos and games just go longer in general there, then it's going to be harder to win.
Yep.
And he's a champion that I talk about, like, just because you got ahead early game does not mean you're entitled to a win. Like
No,
that's
you have
that's
to sweat
expected.
even harder, right?
Yeah.
You have to sweat to win games.
Yeah.
He's like the Rek'Sai.
Yeah,
of support, in a way.
Rek'Sai. Yeah, I agree in that sense. So, OTP champ like Thresh.
Absolutely. Yep. He's not going to round your pool out. He's going to be all or nothing
trick.
in your pool. Yep.
What do you know about Pyke that other people don't know?
I think I popularized a little bit the EQ into Flash. So it's basically a point and click engage where you press E and then you start channeling your Q and then people are trying to react to the Q, but then you flash while you're still channeling your Q. You carry the E stun onto them and then you move behind them still with your Q charging. You flip them backwards. And so it's a very high percentage way to approach his engage. And even if people are expecting it and play around it, then they've flashed your EQ flash and then you still have your Q channel. You can still kind of hook them afterwards. So there's little counterplay to it as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's it's being able to find consistent windows to land it. And also it's a bit of mentality. Like I can be a psycho. Like I do not mind messing up. I'll just try again. So I'll jump into someone's face. I'll miss a hook. I'll look like an absolute idiot. I'm like, okay. And then I'll do it again. I'll land it next time. They'll be dead, right? But a lot of times people will do that and be like, oh God, I suck. Everyone's going to flame me. What do I do now? I'm just going to chill. And so you have to
just have this confidence. So you're happy to mess up, ruin the game in a moment, and then you'll still have that confidence to keep going.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
It's very hard to play Pyke and maintain emotional equilibrium. Like he can be a roller coaster.
So games are messy with Pyke, are they?
Yeah.
Messy games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to make it messy as well. And so
Right.
like in the mid to late game, I'm very good at creating the type of map state that I want so that I can have a strategic advantage. Like I was working with a higher elo Pyke player a couple of days ago, and they were just trying to hand stiff everyone 24/7, no matter what kind of fight, 2v3 or 5v5. And it's like, we really need to find something that favors us, right?
Yeah.
So you want to avoid the ARAMs. You want to ask your teammates to shove sides. You want to create vision control in a quadrant in a jungle.
You want pressure in the sides going so you can hover or create movement. To
You
get
want the
different
enemies
picks.
rotating around so you can pick them.
Yeah.
That's how I win games. That's how I win games in mid game.
You should play Pyke instead of Nautilus.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't do that.
No, but then I wouldn't. I would miss too many opportunities in the early game. I couldn't hit a Q to save my life.
Let alone the EQ flash.
So is Pyke the most mechanically demanding support in the game?
Yes,
Okay.
I would say so. Yeah.
Is that what people need to do to climb as Pyke? Is it a
Yes,
mechanics
the good
thing?
mechanics as well.
Or is it
as-
more what you were just saying about avoiding the ARAM and getting into win cons?
It's
and
both,
stuff?
to be honest. He's not like the most straightforward champion. You have to be able to land his hooks,
Yeah.
and you have to be able to create a map state that favors him. If you can do both of those, which are really hard, you'll have some success. But you need a lot of champ mastery to land his Qs. Like you need to understand how long exactly you need to channel it before you can release it. And that can be the difference between winning counter matchups or not. Like some people think Soraka is a counter matchup to Pyke because she can just immediately silence, right? But if you channel your Q and release it instantly, then Soraka actually cannot react to it in time. And so then you'll buffer it through the initial silence and you'll actually get the hook off. So stuff like that. Are you going to channel it for a short or a long time? Do you know how people generally behave if you channel it for a short or a long time? Like I go pretty in depth here. I really hold my students to a high standard with landing Pyke hooks.
You've got it into a science.
Oh yeah. Like if you do the immediate fast hook, then you have to throw for a slight juke. And if you're channeling it longer, then you have to close the gap so you can make it a shorter range, and then you're going to kind of read their body language and play that minigame out more. But you have to land your hooks. It's not an easy spell to land, and you have to create a favorable map state.
Pyke is very high ban rate, I'm noticing. 17% ban rate.
Wow,
on
so
Pyke.
even though people ruin games with Pyke, people hate playing against it. It's sort of like a Thresh type thing.
I think he's pretty, we don't have stats for this, but he's like people play him, they one trick him, they're really good at him, and you remember a good Pyke. Like, holy shit, how do I play against
Yeah,
this?
so what happens is that sometimes those Pikes pop off and then it gets insta-banned that next game. Like, no questions asked. Yeah, I see. That's probably affecting the ban rate.
Yeah.
So is it weird to play such a squishy support that builds AD? Do you still go like Hail of Blades, like Youmu's, what's that, Umbral Glaive? Is that still what people do on Pyke?
Yep. I recommend, well, you basically have to do Halo Blaze. There's no great alternative. There's a lot of like personal preference for secondary runes. I'm not really going to get into that, but basically just stack lethality. You can go Umbral so you can have some lethality and have that utility that I really enjoy. Some people are just foregoing that for pure lethality and bigger selfish stat spikes, but I like Umbral into Edge of Night, Youmu's, Axiomarch, that kind of stuff. But yeah, just straight lethality basically.
All right. Next one is Blitzcrank. Is
We've
Blitzcrank...
skipped a few low elo champions. Do we care about these?
No, you're not on Emerald Plus.
Yeah, I know. Why are we looking at the Emerald Plus list?
You're looking at the Gold Plus there, Charles, because I want to go Emerald Plus because these are the,
Okay.
because I think that in general, people listening to this podcast for support are going to be more skewed to the higher ranks. And I think it's just interesting
Flame
to see.
him in the comments if he's wrong. I want to see that.
And I'm also just interested to talk more about, like, I want to see what, people are getting results with.
You want to see
these
actual
champions.
supports. You don't want to see luck support.
Yeah, that's right,
Is that you got a narrative?
Yeah,
it's
I
just
got a
purely
bit of a
narrative
narrative,
driven. Okay.
And that's why I decided to structure the episode. It's my episode, Charlie.
fair enough.
All right,
Frank. I love Blitzcrank so much.
you love Blitzcrank? I was going to say, is Blitzcrank the worst support champ in the game?
What kind of narrative is that?
That's crazy.
What are we talking about?
So do you not win with Crank?
Yeah, Blitzcrank is the worst champ in the game.
What the hell? Blitzcrank is great.
Blitzcrank and Morgana are my two worst champs in the
Okay,
game.
Morg is. I agree with that. But Blitzcrank, think about all the best supports
It's
on the server.
just good against...
Nami, Sona, Lulu,
Yeah.
Milio. These champs are in every
Again,
game.
they can get the hooks early. They can maybe get a bit of a lead, but they can't team fight. They can't.
What are you doing team fighting on Crank?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what my Blitzcranks are doing.
Play some pinks and sit on him. Then
All right,
hook the
so-
enchanter.
Where does Blitzcrank stack in the hook supports? Tier list for you.
What's the criteria? Like how good they are?
How likely is it that Nathan Mott will win the game with it on his team?
Don't answer that
That's what
question.
it's sounding like.
No one cares about that. Getting results.
He would be bottom half.
Bottom half.
He would be bottom half.
So why?
Because he's very one-dimensional, and it's very hard to find results on him outside of picking squishy immobiles. It is a narrative, I think, a misconception that he can't team fight. I think you actually can hook the tank and just find windows to burst and then peel it off. You'll actually see that. There was a bunch of Blitzcrank and pro play towards the end of last year or a lot of last year. I think it was popularized by like Maokai jungle, Blitzcrank support.
Yeah, there was Lehens and Delight.
Yeah. So you can actually find windows to just like hook the Sejuani and just get it to 40% and then cut the play before the enemy team can like really organize themselves. But it's very hard to have that awareness. You have to have insane situational awareness and game knowledge to be able to say, you know what, this Sejuani, if I pull her in, I'm not griefing my team. We can actually kind of punish her.
That's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining if the average support player hears that in like Platinum or something and hooks the tank, insta GG. They'll just lose the game, you know?
Yeah. And people are also like, they see a Sejuani get hooked and they're like, why are you doing that? I'm not gonna hit
they're
the
like running
Sejuani.
away. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's tough for you to see. It's tough for people to follow up.
Yeah.
And the most consistent way you're going to get results on Blitzcrank is just hook the Lulu, one-shot her, and then everyone's kind of on the same page there. But you also have to hit the hook. And if you don't hit the hook, then you can be pretty useless.
Yes.
And if you only team fight and you're not isolating targets when you can, then you're going to be very useless as well.
So is it just a blind pick champ? No, not blind pick, a counter pick.
It's a tough one. Because strangely enough, Blitzcrank gets OTP'd a lot.
Yeah.
But he's kind of a counter pick and a niche pick as well. So it doesn't really make too much sense there. So I think he's deceptively hard to win games on and to use well. Like everyone can kind of understand, I'm gonna hook the Nami in lane and kill her. But then to win a game on Blitzcrank without getting outscaled and out front to backed is a lot trickier than it might seem.
Because he has a 51% win rate, but I assume people are more use it as a counter pick. That's why.
You would think so?
If this was just all OTPs, I feel like it should have. I was going to say negative win rate, but it's probably still not the case.
I think people mainly play him to counter range champions for sure. And then OTPs are going to have a better time against tough matchups than the average player as well. But honestly, he's been very, very rare for me to coach. I don't think people... I'm not sure. Not many Blitzcrank players sign up for Blitzcrank coaching. It just kind of is what it is.
I feel like with Crank, there's a couple of things. Like it's almost like Thresh, where a lot of good Blitzcrank players that I would just try and do this a lot when I played Blitzcrank, like the whole W forward and just eat them. I feel like that's severely underrated as like a way to start fights. Like when you have numbers advantage and you can just get it going, make it really easy for yourself to land hooks.
Yeah, it's tricky because you're going to reduce the effective CC of your hook afterwards. So if you can W4s get an E off and then you don't need much more CC to kill them, that's fine.
Yes.
But if you can hit a hook and read their minds, it's going to be more effective CC. Or if you can W forwards, land your E, and then backstep and then create more effective CC. Like there is a lot that you can do. Yeah. I agree, like just dubbing forwards and getting E into Q can be useful, but like the next level Blitzcrank is, can you get as much effective CC out of his hook as possible? And that's where you need to be able to click backwards and still land.
Yeah. I had something else to say about Blitzcrank, but I've forgotten now.
So why do you love Blitzcrank?
Oh, I just I hit every hook.
So you hit every hook?
I hit every hook.
So you're an ADC player, but what about, do you like playing with Blitzcrank players?
No, because they miss every hook.
Okay.
But you reminded me of what I was going to say, which is I think like Blitzcrank obviously gets countered by some supports, like a lot of the melees, like you see he has a shit win rate into Leona Braum, makes sense. But also Blitzcrank blind pick is countered by champs in general. Like I feel like it's such a draft thing. Like if I see a blitz on the enemy team, I will lock in Sivir and I will win that game every time. You know, or
it's not just about the support matchup.
No, it's not. You can play Lucian, Tristana, like Ezreal, obviously. Even mid laners just don't pick like an immobile mage, and then Blitzcrank has one less target. You know, like I feel like there's certain games if I'm playing Blitzcrank and the enemy team have like I don't know like Lilia or Fiddlesticks jungle or all these like squishy easy champs to hook, the game is a billion times easier.
Yeah, I mean, at his core, he's very one-dimensional. He's a hook, right? And if you can use that well, then you're going to be in a good spot. And sometimes it's easier to do that in some situations than others. Honestly, I want to go through a Blitzcrank phase. I think he's a little bit misunderstood. I would love to show some footage where I'm hooking tanks in a team fight and winning. I think that'd be pretty fun.
That'd be great.
And he can, any support that can use Blood Song well is already stronger than other supports. Just from that metric, he can use Bloodsong very well. I'm going to play around with a lot of move speed builds, or even a lot of like flat AP builds. Like you can even do Electrocute, Bloodsong, full AP, and genuinely just one-shot people.
Yeah,
so.
there's some Storm Surge Blitzcranks I may have seen in solo
Oh,
queue.
you've seen them as well?
Yeah, they one-shot with the R.
They're a menace.
It's crazy. Like literally one-shot off hook.
Jesus.
Hook, E with Bloodsong,
Yeah.
ult, dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I want to talk a little bit about Elise. Elise has shown up here on the right
Yeah.
as a champion that is very good into so many champs.
Let's have a look
but,
at the...
but Elise is like barely played. Even on that Emerald Plus, Elise is like one of those least popular supports.
I don't think she
So
was
just
on the
people
list.
auto lose versus Elise? Like,
What is it? Elise's overall win rate is 51.1%, but
Peak
she's
rate's
only
1%.
1% of games.
one of the lowest champs.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good support, just like Neeko is, but people don't pick a lot of Elise. I think Neeko's even better.
Neeko's more popular. We do see Neeko down here at rank 22, and Elise is not even on this list you've got.
Yeah,
Elise isn't even in the top 35 champs for support.
yeah. I mean, Neeko has a lot more going for her than Elise. You're going to see her more in pro play. She can poke out lane more. She can have more reliable engage. And Elise is just like, she thrives in the chaos. And she's really hard to deal with. It's like, how you deal with an Elise is like, don't let her get too fed. And you're kind of on the back foot quite a lot of the times already. And that's a hard win con to execute a lot of the times. So if you're against a good Elise, you're going to be in trouble. But if you're not a good Elise, you're going to be very useless very quickly.
Oh, Elises don't win games in my game. Elises wouldn't win with you either, right?
No,
Support?
no.
They'll go 10-0 and lose the game.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. Glad we agree on that.
All right. The next few are some juicy ones.
The best champ in the game. Is
Now
next
we're
one.
on the best
The
champ
best champ in the game.
Yeah.
Is Sona the best support champion in League of Legends?
Like genuinely, I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Like 100%.
We're pro Sona on this podcast.
Which is wild. People are clicking off this
Yeah, people are
podcast.
so angry.
That could be a short right now on YouTube. People are literally flaming. Or they're unsubscribing from this podcast.
Yeah. She is quite misunderstood as well. She can actually do everything.
Yeah.
When you think of Sona, you're like super one-dimensional, just kind of sit back and
Play with your feet,
scale.
you know, mash the W.
Exactly. Like hit 25 minutes and then auto win kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you take the right setup and you can genuinely roam very quickly. You can do a lot of damage in 1v1 and 2v2 situations. And you can scale insanely well. And you have the best items, spikes for support in the entire game, hands down. So a
And
little
what
bit,
are those?
So the Diadem really buffed Sona, right?
Helia feels amazing. Diadem feels amazing. Dawncore, Moonstone, they all feel incredible. So yeah, each spike is like, damn, I'm so OP right now. And it just keeps happening and it keeps happening. And she uses Bloodsong really well. And so that's the thing.
People don't build Bloodsong on Sona. I've noticed. It's not very popular, is it?
I think
They take that. What's the white
Dreammaker?
Dreammaker. That's the one.
Yeah. If they're not,
Is that just a
if they're
coward's
not
build?
Sona mains or they just want to like off roll and play an easy champ and they're like, oh, this is an enchanter item, then they'll build
Oh, I see.
Dreammaker.
Okay.
But Bloodsong does a lot. So if you take Celerity, if you build Boots of Swiftness,
Hmm.
if you take the move speed shard and you have a point in E, you are one of the fastest supports in the game. So you will roam insanely well. Now your roams, you're not going to murder everyone like a Bard or a Pyke, but you can genuinely be there to kill people. She has actually quite a lot of threat with her passive E-empowered auto attack and Bloodsong. Does a lot of damage, slows, sets up, amps damage. So she can, she's just good at so many things. Now, of course, people think that she can't be blind picked, and that's true for GM plus in major regions.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's skill issue, and you need to play her better. So
Cool. I
you can
love that.
you can
What a good
absolutely
Step
blind
up
pick
Sona
Sona.
players.
You can absolutely blind her.
So is there finesse to this champion? Like, do I need to
Oh,
care
yeah.
which power chord I use? Do I need to
Okay.
let max range Q tether?
Skill floor versus skill ceiling, right?
Yeah.
Very low skill floor. You can mash your face against the keyboard and probably be useful, right? You're going to apply auras, and when a bunch of teammates are on your screen, then you're going to be useful. Skill ceiling is very high. And so helping people to understand how they can win lane and understanding the different matchups, like Sona versus ranged matchups, you're mainly playing on just Q and you're not committing your auto attack because everyone has a compulsion to just sprint forwards and find their empowered auto attack
Yes.
with Sona's Q, and then they just lose trades.
But the good ones, they tether the Q, and then because the Q's much higher range than other supports ranges, right?
Yeah, longer than any auto attack in the game, longer than most kind of trading spells, and it's point and click as well. So you kind of feel out that range, and then you can get a lot of free poke. You don't necessarily commit auto attacks unless you're against a melee matchup or unless you have a really good reason. You have to get high value out of her W. You want to get the heal and the shield component. So there's a very high skill ceiling. Now, each optimization you make isn't game breaking, but it all kind of stacks up. And if you can use her kit really well, then you're going to be surprisingly winning lanes, especially with the right setup and with Scorch as well. And you're going to be doing it consistently because the Q's kind of point and click. It just depends on champ mastery, using your W well, roaming around well, 1v1ing well, 2v2ing well, scaling well, team fighting well. She can genuinely just do so much.
So you're taking Celerity, Scorch, and playing to win lane on Sona.
Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, you'll see a lot of Transcendence and Gathering and Lucidities instead of Swifties, and just sit back and scale. And then if you're playing like that, that's going to be very one-dimensional, and you're only really going to thrive in the team fights.
Yes.
But you can create a fast pace of game, and you can thrive in a fast pace of game, and you can win lane. So I really enjoy playing her so much because she's so strong, and to just kind of buck the narratives, because this is one of the heaviest narrative champions for support in the game.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has a strong opinion about her, me included, I guess, but
Yeah.
On the
mine's
other
right.
direction.
No, I'm kidding.
So AD carries despise this champ. Like literally.
Yeah.
They'll ban it. I know multiple people who
To
play
not
AD carry
play
who
it.
ban it to not play
with it. Yeah.
But I just view it as a free win, genuinely. Like Sona is such a free win. You win every game with
Yeah,
Sona,
I'll
right?
win every game with Sona, yeah.
I think, to give the devil its due, the average Sona player might not be playing towards all of these dimensions and be more comfortable just AFKing and doing nothing. And then 25 minutes, hopefully if that comes around, then you're strong.
Yeah.
But there is so much more you can do on this champion that if you guys played with a competent Sona, you would love playing with her.
So what are the KFC secret herbs and spices that you know about Sona that no one else knows if you just listed everything? Well, what's the source?
I'm actually also interested, while you answer that, how did you figure out that Sona should be played this way?
Well, I played around with different approaches. Like, should I just focus on lane and then ping the enemy support roam timers and then just say, sorry, the rest of my team, I'm just going to do this and while you guys suffer? Or can I keep up with that pace as well? And just like a general feel of how League of Legends is played. Like, there's going to be random fights. There's going to be fast pace. You can genuinely do a lot with the setup, with your E-empowered auto attack and with your blood song. So it's just like understanding how to use everything in her kit and how to keep up with the pace of game and what works and what doesn't, just paying a lot of attention to that. I'm pretty good at paying attention to what works and what doesn't.
Right.
You'd hope from a League of Legends coach, but
Would hope so.
And, you know, you're saying you have very strong opinions about Sona. Everyone in the academy knows that you think Sona's the best champ in the game. Why is everyone not just playing Sona?
oh, they are.
They are. Everyone's playing Sona.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say, like, is there some shame, some guilt to playing a champion like Sona?
BLA is just a Sona playground. Everyone plays Sona.
Okay.
Yeah, because everyone's just winning games. Everyone loves winning games.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess that,
Getting
like,
results. Come on.
because people say, like, oh, I don't want to play, like, a girl champion or, you know, enchant. Or, again, like, people might say, like, you're boosted on Sona or
Sure,
something like
yeah.
that, right? So do these narratives pop up or people just don't care
I
because they're having
think-
so much fun with Sona?
I am so passionate about her, and it's so clear how much agency I am saying that there is, that I'm not saying, you know what, guys, just pick Sona, just
Yeah, I
AFK,
see.
don't worry, you'll get LP, don't think too much about it. It's like, no, just dominate the game on this really strong champion and get results. And
Yeah. There's no shame.
Yeah,
in that.
Cupcake
That's
runs
awesome.
2v2 chambers where he's going specifically matchup with Sona, telling people how to win and how to like get edges and stuff. It's very different mindset to what the average Sona player would have for sure.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Soraka. I think is another massively misunderstood champion from the fact that, you know, like the theme of the episode, aggression early. I've seen Sorakas in my games. I've seen the community. Because I review so many jungle games where I see Soraka's just so passive, and I'm just like, this guy could be winning the game. So, you know, is this just as simple as, again?
Do you think Soraka's play passive? In my experience, Soraka's play too aggressive in my games for some reason because they think they're invincible and they want to spam the
in
W.
your games.
That's
yeah.
probably in your high
Yeah,
elo
in high
games.
elo.
Yeah. Generally, people are terrified and hanging back and just.
I would have
pressing
used
W.
Soraka more as like the battle enchanter, you know?
She is, but she's not conceptualized
Okay.
that way and played that way unless you've had coaching.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, she is one of the strongest level ones in the game.
Yeah.
One of the most fun guides I've ever done was Soraka because I just fought to the death every level one and it just worked every time. It was so much fun. But yeah, her kit is basically defined by her Q. Her Q is one of the most overstated spells in the whole game.
Yep.
It does damage, it slows, it heals you, it empowers your W. It's very low cooldown, it's ranged, it's AoE. It's like, Jesus, they have really overloaded this spell.
And it has different projectile speed based on how close you are to them as well. So if you're close, you can just make it undodgeable. Yeah, it's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, one of the strongest level 1 all-ins for support in the game. Just run at them and spam Q and you'll win. And it's always fun to talk about that. And then people go away and they give it a go and they're like, oh shit, I'm suddenly just like killing everyone. So that's cool. But yeah, Nathan, like you were saying, she is misconceptualized. People tend to kind of hang back and they don't really test her limits. And there's quite a big difference actually between low elo and high elo for Soraka. So in low elo, she's going to have a better time because people don't understand how important it is to dodge the Q.
Yeah, that's it. Because the whole kit, like you said, is so loaded into the Q that if she hits it, wins every matchup, is my opinion. Like whenever when I coach AD carries versing Soraka, I say like 99% of your mental stack literally needs to just be on never getting hit by that Q. Because if you dodge it, then she's useless. But if you get hit by it, they're boop, 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 back to full HP. And all your hard work is obliterated.
Do you mention Rakan Qs at all?
Rakan Qs? Yeah, but that's easier because you can stand behind minions.
Yeah.
Soraka Qs is actually like a horizontal movement minigame.
Yeah, I'm Soraka Qs and Rakan Qs. If you dodge them, then the lane is fine. If you get hit by them, then you can't do anything.
Correct.
And so, you want to drop everything you're doing and dodge it.
Yep.
Drop the minion.
Yep.
Drop the sexy trade sequence you were going to do and just dodge the spell because it defines her entire champion.
Okay, so you talk about lane phase. Where do people go wrong in the mid game with Soraka?
I think people generally do an okay job, except for being quite deliberate with their spell usage. So maybe they don't do a good job. They
click around well, but they just don't use their abilities properly, you know?
No, now that I'm talking about it, no, they don't land their Qs, or they like freak out and use W and then Q, or they use Q at an inopportune time when they're going to miss it. You have to land your Q. So you have to wait until, if there's anything that can be going in your favor, if you can shorten the distance so you can land it. If you wait until the enemies have engaged forwards and react and they can't dodge over it, then you can land it. So basically, if you can land your Q and then press W on someone and get an effective E off, then you're going to be fighting well. People just plop the E on the ground for fun, for 20 damage. And then it's like a 20-second cooldown and it did absolutely nothing. And I'm like, this is such a crucial spell that you could be using better.
Yeah, again, I'm imagining Nathan tunneling in and getting silenced as Rek'Sai.
Yeah, I have done that a few
Can't
times.
play the game.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really OP ability. It's one of the best abilities in the game.
I just think of Soraka as basically just the fight starts and they just, and that's it. Job done. You know, it's going to be quite useful.
Yeah, it's like people ult too early. So you get more healing value if targets are low. And there are different levels of ulting a low target. It's like you don't want to ult a low target if they're not going to need it.
Yeah.
You're not going to ult a low target if the enemies aren't going to be baited forwards. And you're not going to ult a low target if, even if they did get healed, they would still die. One of the highest skill ceiling spells in the game, in my opinion, is Soraka ult. Because there are 5 people.
It's like Karthus ult, right?
Yep.
Because you've just got insane value 100% every single fight.
Yeah, but Karthus ult, at least it's going to do damage to people.
You think
Soraka
the
ult,
healing-
if you heal someone and then they just go back to base because they live the fight on 1 HP anyway.
Oh,
it's
so you
like,
think it's not as...
I think it's probably higher skill ceiling and there's more about like baiting. So like Karthus ult, you can have like a...
And there's no delay. Remember, Karthus ult, people can see it coming. With
that's
the
true.
Soraka ult, he's instant.
Yeah, it's a bit different then, yeah.
And it's easy, like some Karthus ults are easy, right? Like an enemy survived on 1 health, you're just going to press R and get value. But there's no like guaranteed great value for Soraka. Like you want that healing difference to make all the difference in the fight and to bait people and to use your F keys and to figure out when and on who you're going to cast it at what stage it's deceptively difficult.
I feel like people really suck at globals. Like whenever I review a lot of like Ashes, Jinx, Ezreal's, even Senna's, like they're trying to ult across the map, and I'm telling them you need to save your ulti for your lane. Like, do you tell that to Soraka players? Is it good to like if you see the top laners fighting as Soraka, do you ulting that fight, or is it again you just have to have fucking precise threat assessment and only ult if it's like proper?
You do want to be panning to a top fight.
You do.
Because your ult can make all the difference.
Even at level 6.
Yep.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Yep. So, I mean, in the 2v2, it just doesn't feel like it comes up that much, like a fight to the death level 6 onwards with support.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
with that ult kind of making the difference. Like, if there's a fight to the death on your screen, you're going to press it, and I'm comfortable people are going to be ready for that. But you also want to be panning, and not having your ult as Soraka in lane is not the end of the world. Maybe it's a bigger deal than an Ashe or a Senna or...
for sure.
Yeah. So you can still, like, again, a lot of your kit is Q And if you can do that well in lane, then you're probably going to be in a good spot. You don't really need the ultimate as much.
Cool.
All right, Alistar.
Love Alistar.
Is
Such a
Alistar
good
is an engaged champion? Is he against you?
Yeah.
classify him
I've
as
started to
engaged?
toss up between calling him a warden because he's just so good at defending and goalkeeping and disrupting and disengaging.
I watched your Alistar guide last year, and it completely changed my perspective on the champion. Because
Explain.
Because Cupcake's big thing with Alistar was that Alistar it counters melee champs, which I wouldn't even have thought about, but apparently Alistar counters melee comps.
That makes sense.
And your Q cooldown is really short. So what you want to do is you want to get in the mud with everyone in this big rave, basically, and just bash the ground. Then wait a few seconds and bash the ground, and you cause so much disruption multiple times.
So you don't WQ.
Well, I mean, you can combo to engage, but it's more like in the mid game specifically when you get in these brawls, your Q cooldown is deceptively short, and you just get in the mix and land these multiple man knockups over and over and over again, and it's crazy value. And I felt, because I played Alistar a bit when I watched the guide just to see what it was like, and you instantly feel it once you switch that mindset away from I'm going to combo carries to I'm going to knock up the enemy front line. It's just so broken.
So he has a negative win rate, one of the few champs in this
I think people are comboing
Yeah,
carries.
people. I think is Alistar just another champ that people just no one knows how to play him.
Yeah.
Am I right, by the way, with my understanding? Does that make sense?
Yeah. You want to get... I mean, your Q is such a broken spell if it's melee range.
Yeah.
Like, just think about it. It's a Malphite ult on like a...
It's
5-7 second cooldown with a bunch of
stupid
ability haste built up. He's just, again, he's such a pure champion. Like, are your decisions good or not? It's like there's no BS. There's no insane mobility or shields. Boomer champion, like you were describing it, is like, are you good at decisions? Like, do you know how to play League of Legends? And if yes, you're going to be rewarded so much.
Yeah.
So much fun. I just want to play him right now, to be honest. But he has very different matchups. So he's good against melee and he's bad against range, just like super generally.
Yep.
He's a very tanky, exceptional disruptor, finds a bunch of Qs, is super obnoxious, can peel people very easily. But then against ranged, it's hard to get in range and it's hard to find your second Q and you get outscaled and people are going to provide more utility. And so then that's the tricky part. So that's why I'm not like as keen to call him an engager because he's one of the worst blind pick supports, to be honest. And so I don't want to call an engager a bad blind pick because you should be just able to engage. But he struggles the most against range matchups out of all of the engagers.
Is he very flash reliant when he's versing the range champs?
He's creativity reliant.
Right.
So you have to find fog. You have to... Maybe some people can think about Kyria going on like giant...
Yeah, looping around. Like, I'm thinking Core JJ as well years ago, like flanking all the way around the back, headbutting, Q flash after the headbutt.
Yeah. You have to get creative. You have to roam well. You have to play the information game well.
Yep.
And you would think that flash is a big part of that, but like if people can see you, even if you're in flash combo range, they might not stack on top of each other, and then it might not be that easy. Like the fog, the surprise, that's the way you're going to get multiple people in your combo. Like if you're just kind of team fighting and then you're looking for a flash engage, it's probably not going to work out, especially in like mid to high elo. So yeah, he's very difficult to find results on against range matchups. It can be very rewarding if you are able to be really creative. And there's a whole different build and setup that you go. You know, you go like phase rush and you go movement speed.
Yes.
I don't think I've had more fun in League than playing Alistar against melee comps though. You're just so tanky. You stack health, stack ability haste. You're just an absolute unmovable wall.
You feel like the game's fully in your hands the whole game.
Oh yeah. It might not make that much intuitive sense, but you just hard outscale almost every melee champion in the game. And it's just like you're...
Oh yeah, if I have a Nautilus against an Alistar, I will lose that Nautilus. Guaranteed.
It's funny, if you would listen to the last two podcast players, you would think that the game is over in draft. It's just a drafting
Which
game.
is completely opposite.
Yeah, it's completely opposite.
The broken by concept philosophy.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I just love adding my narratives in here.
Yeah, no, it's good. But I agree. I think Alice is so pure, such a great, awesome champion.
But you don't recommend it to people?
Yeah, no, you're going to struggle against range matchups a little bit too much. So
and that is what a lot of bot lane is, right?
Can I ask a more general question before we move on to champs? I know we're going really over time, but so when you're helping someone design a champion pool for support, do you recommend that they play a mixture of different classes? Do you want like one warden, one engager, one enchanter? Or do you want to specialize in just enchanters? Or how do you go about doing that? And obviously it might change on rank as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends on rank.
Yeah.
So the lower elo you are, You're just going to be stuck on Sona duty
Yep.
or Nami duty.
Yep.
And then as you climb,
Also, enchanters only in lower ranks.
it's like if I were to craft a speed run to master, what I
Yes.
would do is like iron, bronze, silver, you're one tricking an enchanter. Gold, platinum, you can add a second enchanter. Emerald, you can consider adding an engager. Diamond, you probably keeping it pretty sturdy there. You might add another niche counterpick for like a free win button in certain drafts. Master, there's so much that you can do, and if you reach that stage, then good job, and that's what we're after anyway. But it's more like there are so many different ways that you can have a pool. I'm just more so preventing large pools or champs that are not good blind picks or really, really difficult supports to play. Like if someone is really passionate about playing Alistar, then I'm like, okay. And let's say they're like mid elo, then we'll have Alistar into melees, and then we'll add a more blindable support like Sona or Nami or Karma or something like that. And then, the higher elo you get, the more like free win buttons you can have, like a cheeky Zilean counter pick or a Braum or a Janna into melee, stuff like that. But you don't want to be draft wizarding too much in lower elos.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, it's not about like having an engager and an enchanter and a warden in your pool. It's just like don't grief yourself too hard, and you can make a lot work.
Love it.
All right, so we're starting to get down to the abyss of champions here. So we're going to start speed running some of these.
I like that. Rapid fire.
A rapid fire one. We might take some time with certain ones. Quite, the pick rate is low on some interesting ones here, like Janna, Rakan.
Even Rell. I feel like these are just
Rell.
like only League of Legends enthusiasts play these
Rell,
champions.
yeah.
I'm very surprised about Janna, to be honest. She's been
Janna's
so popular for so long.
Number 18.
I'm gonna look up Janna in the Gold Plus.
So how popular is Janna in Gold Plus? Charlie's looking at.
She
Still quite low.
Use the mouse and
Pick
keyboard.
rate. Even lower, 26. So no one's playing
Jeez.
Janna.
she's been
Pantheon's
so
more
popular.
popular.
Like
I don't believe this.
Janna has like one of the most committed kind of like player bases. Like
You know, I
people-
genuinely don't believe that.
You don't
right?
believe stats.
No,
I know. You don't
no,
believe
absolutely
stats
not.
websites.
Who's counting?
So yeah, talk to us about Janna. So you're disappointed in that? You think Janna?
I think I would have expected her to be more popular.
Yeah.
She has been in very strong spots in a lot of different metas. There's a lot of people that enjoy her. I think she's just like aesthetically quite fun to play. Like people are drawn to her kit. She can do quite a lot as well. So I'm just surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the lower ranks. In like silver and bronze, she has like a 1%, 2% win rate. And then the higher up you go, she's actually picked more, probably as a counter pick, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
she's obviously good into engage.
Yeah. And she's
Specific
gone
kinds of
through
engage.
Yeah, she's gone through different phases. So last year, or even like the end of the year before, you could do a lot of damage on her. You could build Zazaks and Mandate and Shurelias and just kind of like one-shot a lot of people.
W
But-
with Comet or something.
Yeah, with Comet as well. And nowadays, you just have to all in on the Enchanter build, just like Karma. There's a little bit less creative flexibility there. So yeah, before you could just kind of roam around and kill everyone. And now it's more so like just enchant.
Yep.
I think it's harder to find roam timers with the new season 16 as well, because home guards, everyone's back in lane faster, and then it's harder for you to have as much time to do stuff before you have to come back to bot because everyone's there. More incentivized to stay in lane because of the quest, and more, just playing for lane, less damage. So then you're more about just kind of picking melees. I'm still surprised she's so low. I think she's a pretty good champion to have in your back pocket. She's great at, countering certain champs.
How do you get results specifically if you're going to play Janna? Janna's an enchanter, right?
Yep.
So you would say like go as a bronze player, play Janna?
No, I wouldn't recommend. Again,
Be more
I
of
think,
a harder enchanter.
Yeah,
I think Sona's Nami.
I think we know by now I'd recommend Sona Nami for everyone
Yeah.
ever. But if you're passionate about Janna, then if she's going to be in your pool, she will serve as probably a counter pick. Will give you the most results. You can kind of still blind her and run around and try to wreak havoc because she is one of the best roaming enchanters because she has that bunch of CC and she's very quick. But yeah, she'd serve you best as a counter pick.
All right, so I'm going to list off a few champions before we get to Rakan. These champs are all more popular than Rakan. Senna, and then I just want you to talk about if any of them you want to talk about or find interesting, or you've seen people in the academy play them, or you see some really weird narratives in the community around these champions. So Senna, Yuumi, Morgana, Lux, Seraphine. these champs are all more popular than Rakan, which I want to talk more in depth about.
Yeah, let's talk about Senna. She's interesting. The others we can maybe breeze past a little bit.
Yeah.
Senna is such a tricky one because she goes through states of being really strong, but maybe this is a narrative of mine. This is purely vibes based, but she's like one of the most patched champions in the game. Like Riot has made so many changes to her, it blows my mind.
She got changed
constantly.
literally this patch, by the way.
Yeah.
Literally this morning.
And it's a very relevant patch. Like they're moving her away from an enchanter build to more of an AD build, and that's enormous for how you're going to play the champion.
Yeah,
they
they're
do this constantly.
Jumping her around the rift. They're going from role to role. She'll be a mid laner next patch.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know what Riot thinks about Senna. I think they just can't make up their mind if they wanted to be an ADC or a support or an enchanter or like a DPS support. It's all over the place.
No, they want her to be both. That's the problem.
So Riot literally said in the last patch, is their little comment, Senna has found herself in a weird state where she can be quite powerful, but not when playing her more popular offense-focused builds.
So people are winning games playing Enchanter Senna with Helia and stuff
Helia
like
Diadem.
that. Helia Diadem.
Very
But
powerful.
Diadem, really? Interesting, okay.
One of the best abusers of Helia Diadem in the game.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Helia Diadem, Moonstone, and then you're enchanting. And I guess that's not their vision for the champion. Fair enough. But like
I want my Senna to have Black Cleaver and Rapid Fire and stuff. That's an honest Senna, you know?
That's what I want to play, but
Yeah.
you're just not going to get results in it because they've just nerfed that so much. So
Interesting. So I assume you ban Senna from the academy.
Yeah,
because it's not consistent.
it's so
You're not
different. Like how you play Enchanter Senna, that can be pretty consistent with other enchanters, and how you play DPS Senna, it's like you're an ADC, and it's like, oh god, this is very different.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly talking about spacing and tethering so much more.
Getting autos in, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes she's just in the meta, out the meta, so she's a roller coaster. And any long-term support player probably stay away from this champion. It's just going to be too much of a headache to keep up with.
All right, let's talk about Rakan. So Rakan is number 20.
Wait, what about Yuumi, Morgana, and Lux?
Oh, yeah, I guess we can breeze over them.
I need them all in there for the timestamps.
Oh,
And so
okay,
everyone
that's
in the
true.
comments said, well
They
done.
get
you've so
angry,
got
yeah.
we have to literally say the name at least of all of them.
All right, so Yuumi, I assume that's just a popular pick, right? Because it's just duo queue, right? There's no one people.
Is
no
she
one
a
has a
popular
48%
pick?
win rate.
Yeah, well, she's number 16.
Yeah, she's more popular than
4.7%.
she's more popular than Janna, Seraphine, Rakan, Neeko, Rell.
It's just duo guy. I think we just ignore
Duo
that
queue or trolling or off-roll, I think.
Yeah, she's got a 48% win rate, so it's for sure just trolling a lot of the time as well, right?
She's not a good champion to win the game on or to learn.
She got picked in competitive recently, by the way. It's
Yep,
snuck her way
she's
back
good in
into LCK
competitive.
She's
a
good
little
and
bit.
competitive, yeah.
Right, so there's a bit of finesse. Is it just the ultimate like low skill ceiling, like literally low skill floor? Sorry, like doesn't even really have a skill floor. Just anyone with one hand can play it, and then like. Does she actually have a skill
She
ceiling?
has a skill ceiling.
So you can be a beast. You can like hop out, auto attack,
Yeah.
get back in.
Yeah,
and,
like I remember Sven. He's like the best Yuumi in like NA, right? Like he's insane with it when it's OP.
Sven the AD carry.
Yeah, the
because he
AD
plays
carry.
support.
Yeah,
C9.
support,
Yeah, true.
He used to play when he played support.
She has a high skill ceiling in fights and skirmishes, like
Right.
figuring out who you're going to be sitting on, jumping out and blocking skill shots, hopping back in.
Never ever seen that in my life. Never seen.
If
a
I go
Yuumi
through a
block.
Yuumi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I go through a Yuumi phase, I'll go big on hopping out at the right time and intercepting crucial spells.
That's
but
awesome. That's a dark timeline, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to
Yuumi
do that.
timeline.
I might not do that, to be honest. If you take the role seriously, you probably know that she's not going to teach you fundamentals.
Yeah.
You're not roaming. You're not doing much wave clear,
You're
wave
literally-
management.
You're not moving. It's crazy to think about.
I'm just-
you don't move.
You don't click.
Like when I'm playing League, I'm literally doing this constantly, like
Yeah.
moving. The
Yeah.
Yuumi player's not.
I'm just
looking at the screen.
Like, what are they
Just
doing?
looking, just with their mouse, just ready
Wait,
to press
the
one
mouse?
button.
Like, I guess they aim the.
You know
Just press
what?
one button.
Yuumi mains are so vocal for how little they do sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys have experienced that, but they
The yapping game.
yeah, like a
Really?
lot of pings, a lot of typing.
Right,
That's just
that's
maybe a
awesome.
narrative that
That's
I have, but
very
they get
interesting.
into it. They get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe because they
Great.
don't have to worry about what they're doing as
Yeah.
much.
Well, it's the only way they can have influence over the game. They literally can't move,
That
guys.
would've-
They can't move.
I'm just grateful that BLA is not like that we don't have many Yuumi players. 'Cause
Okay.
I would just begrudgingly review a bunch of Yuumi, but I'm so glad I haven't
How
had
would you
to.
even do that?
You just,
Yeah,
I don't want to think about it.
Let's just not
for
do
another
that.
day.
All right, Morgana. Is Morgana the worst champion in the game?
I mean, she's pretty bad. She is genuinely pretty
You only
bad.
pick Morgana into Alistar, is that it?
I think she's just a jungler now as well, or like
Yeah.
even like a mid lane
There's-
phase, right?
There's no good build for her. She has no items to build. So Morgana and Zilean have had item identity crises for a very long time. Like there's just nothing that you can build on them that feels good. You can't use any of the enchantment items well. You can't use any of the melee items well. It's just like, am I just going to build Ryleys and try to be a mage, or am I just going to try and wing it with some enchanter items?
Well, what they do in solo queue, I guarantee they build Zhonya's. That's what they would do. They would play for the play for the 5-man ult into Zhonya's combo.
Yeah, like if I were to play her right now, I would probably go Ryleys, Liandry Zhonya's, or Ryley Zhonya's, and just try to be useful with W. But those items are expensive. Zazax is nerfed as well, so it's harder to be that mage damage. She's not a great champion, to be honest. I think they need to. I don't know if they will rethink or rework her at all. But
well, her spell shield is just like it used to feel so great. Like.
I mean, it's still good against engagers in lane, but she struggles to roam. She struggles to keep up with the fast pace of game.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have anything to build. So,
and there's other champs that do it now as well. You know, like big Milio and just let them get in and then cleanse afterwards, and then you've also got a Milio W and an E. So.
Absolutely.
All right, another one of our negative we make friends, Lux.
Yeah, so Lux, I looked earlier, was the second or third most popular champion in Gold and Below for support.
Everyone plays her.
So do you review Lux games?
No one plays her in BLA.
Okay, so people who want to improve at support don't play Lux. And people who want to roll around the rift, throw in some spells, do play Lux.
Yeah. I think people that are in the heavy narratives of it's low elo, I need to do a bunch of damage and carry.
That's it. Oh, that's if you nailed it. Because they don't believe they can win the game. They have to kill everyone themselves. It's the 1v9 mentality.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Now, to be fair, Lux is going to have a better time in gold.
Yep.
And in lower elos than in higher elos. So there's like an element of truth to that. But she's just mage supports in general are not in a great spot. I wouldn't recommend them.
Items.
It's the items, and it's just inherently high risk, medium reward. Like the items are expensive. You're skewing your team's damage. You, of course, don't have as much utility. You're more like damage focused than other supports as well. So then, like if people just run into all of your spells and you get to build 4 items, you're going to have a good time in lower elos. But if you want to take your climb seriously, if you want to improve, then we're generally staying away from mages.
All right, Seraphine support.
I don't want to be a Seraphine hater, but she's a bit of a nothing burger. Like, I don't know. What's her identity? She has like one shield and then she has a couple like ranged spells. It's like, are you building mage? Are you building enchanter?
So would you recommend people just go hardcore and just play a mage if you're like, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's so many other better supports that have better, clearer identities.
Like if you want to be an enchanter, there's so many better enchanters. If you want to be a mage, there are much better mages. I've never really enjoyed the idea of the champion, to be honest. So
double W seems like when I think of Seraphine, that's what I think of.
Yeah, but it's like a 20-second cooldown.
Just play Sona at that point, right?
Yeah, and then what are you doing afterwards, right? Like none of your other spells are doing. I mean, her ult is cool. You can do a lot with her ult.
Yeah, it is cool that it bounces off people.
Yeah.
You can make it go really far. It's kind of great. The R flash is like undodgeable engage. That's kind of cool as well.
It's definitely a good engage there, but just figuring out her identity crisis with what direction you're going is pretty tricky.
All right, so Rakan is the 21st most popular support in the bottom, against the bottom of the barrel. So why do you think people aren't playing Rakan? Isn't Rakan like the most fun champs in the game?
I'm surprised. I think people can get quite passionate about Rakan. Like he's very unique. He's got some, I don't know, quirky voice lines. He's pretty...
The whole like the lore of Zyra.
Yeah, he's fun to play as well. Really fun to play.
Doesn't he just feel good? Like he
does.
so awesome. Like
It's
he's
a really good
he's
design.
slick.
Yeah.
You can go in and out. You can piss people off.
Yeah,
feels awesome.
One of the most fluid supports to play.
It's like really well designed.
Yeah,
really
it
well
is.
designed.
So I'm surprised. I don't think he's in that bad of a spot. From my experience with coaching support players, there's quite a few that are interested in him.
Okay,
but maybe it's just not that appealing to the average solo queue player. He has like good elements and bad elements in the meta. Like he really enjoys the new Zeeks with the ultimate ability haste, but he also doesn't like a lane centric approach because he's not a great laner. No. He can struggle with like more explosive situations. Like a Leona is going to do better in an explosive fight than a Rakan. Like sometimes his CC is just not that satisfying or fight changing. I'm surprised at the low pick rate, but I think he's a cool champion and he's best used as a counter pick. Out of curiosity,
Counter pick into what?
Exactly. I want to get your guys' take. Like, when do you think what makes a good Rakan game?
well, I know that it beats Braum because you said it earlier.
Okay.
I think it's sort of. I think from my experience playing League of Legends, it's not like you. It's good, very good at peeling, like assassins and all that sort of stuff, right? Like,
I think Rakan personally.
I don't actually view it as a really good engaged champion.
Okay.
No, I think it's good to like. I mean, I think it's good in mid game fights, and I think you can play it into melee champs, right? Like, it's good into Pyke is a good one. I'm looking at the list. I think it's probably good into Alistar. It's probably good into. I don't know about the Nautilus matchup, honestly. I like it into Pyke for some reason.
Yeah.
That sounds cool to me.
I use him as a Pyke counter pick.
Oh,
But he's actually more about the other position. So Nathan was starting to hit the nail on the head there, where you're great against assassins.
nice.
So when people dive onto you, then you have a very high value E into R into W. You can peel. The assassin class typically lacks the CC to lock him down in one shot as well. So you can kind of just hop out whenever you feel like it.
Yes.
But he also wants proactive teammates. Like if you're a Rakan and you're playing with like a Lilia and a Victor, the game feels awful. Like you can't get in there and fight. You need springboards. You need teammates in front of you that are fighting. You want a Xin Zhao and an Akali on your team, and they're jumping forwards, and you E onto them, and then you catch up, and you're so fast, and you land all of your spells as well. So
I was gonna say he's like a wombo combo champ in a lot of ways. Like you want other champ. Like when I think of the good Rakan games, it's like shit's going on together. Like it's. Am I correct in saying that he likes more organized fights where he can get value out of his like flash RW and stuff like this? Or am I just thinking
I
of
want to
pro
say
play?
yes because you want me to say yes.
I don't know.
but
No, tell me no. No, I'm happy. For
Definitely
you to
not.
tell
No,
me
he needs the chaos. He needs the volatility.
He doesn't want organized
He
fights
doesn't
at all.
want ARAMs. No. So he wants to use the mobility of his teammates and decisively pounce on a fight before their enemies can be organized. And so he really wants just a lot of melee champions on both teams. He's going to thrive, hop in and out, and counter melees and use
does
your
work.
melees and
I feel like he's really unintuitive now that we're talking about him.
Oh, he's tough. He is tough to get results on.
Because it's sort of like another thing where you can have different identities throughout the game. You don't have a simple plug and play. So people just lose their minds on Rakan, right? They don't know how to actually climb or get results.
They play him like a Janna or a Yuumi sometimes.
Really?
And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they just kind of hang back, and I'm like, no, you got to be decisive. You got to pounce there. Like you got to create.
I can understand why they would do that. They are squishy.
People just don't understand how to win a game on Rakan, to be honest. It's like Nathan said, it's unintuitive. Like he feels good when you're jumping in and out, but like you got to understand what fights you want and don't want.
I don't know how to win a game on Rakan. I sat next to the bloke in lane for fucking years. I don't know how to win the game with that thing. What does it do? Like he's got to hope it's Cupcake or lose, I guess. Like,
I mean, as a jungler, I'm like thinking every Rakan ult I'm making a play with. And when Rakan knows no ult, no play.
is he ulti based?
That's gotten me
Disagree with
results.
him. Disagree with him.
It's in a way, but people misuse it so often
Okay.
that I would imagine the average solo queue Rakan is not making a good case for being ult reliant. I think they're going to use it when they don't need to a lot of the times, and that's one of the most common misconceptions or
Compared to a champ like
mistakes.
Neeko or Rell, they're ulti reliant, right?
Yeah, it's a really tough champion. He's really hard to land W's on, surprisingly. He's really hard to be decisive and to get high value ults. So if you want to take your climbing journey seriously, we're staying away from him as well.
Yeah, because I mean, just going a tiny bit deeper on that, you can't, like, again, narratives, you can't win lane on Rakan.
Correct.
And the engage is so linear and easy to dodge. So how do you win the game?
Yeah, the thing is, like, you can't lose lane either because he never dies and his Q is broken.
True,
So you
true.
just kind of like hang out and then
Yeah, that's it. You hang out.
yeah, and
Hope for the
then
best.
you just hope that the Rakan knows how to skirmish really well and decisively, and he also just kind of never dies.
Yes.
If you're good at him, so it's like he can be annoying in his engages that don't do as much as you would like, but he also never really dies.
So you meant to
so-
play like reckless and just dash away, basically. That's what you're saying.
Sure. Why not?
Like, I love putting words in Cupcake's mouth. It's great.
I think from one of my latest YouTube videos, we're probably not trying to play like
Probably not,
reckless. So.
The next champ, I love this champion.
Yeah, I was
so
going to say
much.
second best champ in the game here.
Yes, I agree.
Neeko.
This is everything you want in
Yes.
League of Legends champ.
Tell me what your thoughts are on Neeko's support. Obviously, really famous. You have the clips of Kyria playing Neeko.
Yep.
On T1 with Faker, all that sort of stuff. The clips. There's so much. The skill ceiling seems really high for this champion. But I want to say, is a champion just the worst champ in the game without Flash?
I don't think so. No.
You rush Protobelt, right?
No, you can flank. You can use Protobelt. You can win lane. So she's like, she can do quite a lot. She rewards creativity. I think she's a fantastic solo queue pick.
Yeah.
She is the #1 most criminally underpicked support in the game.
Yes.
Like people should be playing this champion.
Do you recommend it?
No,
Why?
because she has a really high skill ceiling and you basically need a one tricker as well.
Okay.
So
Is that
there's-
because of the transform? Because I feel like, isn't it, you just win lane by landing your Qs and then you team fight by landing a big R? Isn't it pretty straightforward?
It's
Again,
like
I love giving you that. That's probably not true at all. but-
I mean, you're not too far off. Like people can land Qs.
Okay.
But then to be able to land ults is a little bit trickier.
Right.
Like if you're just hanging out in front of people
Yeah.
and then you just start running forwards, like
Oh, there's a lot of psychology behind
Yeah.
behind the Neeko R for sure.
And there's a lot that you can do, like transforming into a minion. So people,
Yes.
like if you're against a Leona, suddenly they don't teleport on you, or transforming to a minion so that the Comet and the Scorch doesn't apply. Like
cool.
the high skill ceiling is absolutely
Yeah,
there.
the Neeko transforming into the minion to dodge Leona E is
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
That's
it
such a
is,
sick
yeah.
mechanic.
Yeah, there's so many little things that you can do. Now, if we're just kind of breaking it down and like just land Q and lane and just land some ults, you can be useful for sure. And that's not that difficult, I suppose. But understanding how to get the most out of her clone, like sending it off and finding vision and then doing the thing so that it survives longer than it should, and like turning into different things at different times, and you know, timing your bases so that when you come out of base, you can be a melee minion on a mid wave so that you can actually catch people off guard.
Yep.
There's a lot that goes into it. So it's surprisingly complex to do well.
You go.
Are you going to say anything more about Neeko?
Yes.
Go.
I view her as the mental stack destroyer.
Yeah.
Because every time I verse that champion, I have to basically grow a bit of extra brain to think about, is she a minion on this wave? Is she a minion on this wave? Is she a minion on this wave? Is she a minion? Just constantly counting minions. And now they've changed the bloody number of minions on the wave. So in the mid game, there's like waves that only have 2 melees. So how am I meant to count where the Neeko is?
Yeah.
I just die.
Yeah.
Like,
So she got buffed with the new season.
it seems like she got buffed. I
That's
mean,
a huge
there
buff.
is a logic to how the minions work, but it's confusing.
And the other thing, like sometimes you know she's there and people just don't care. Like they'll
Yeah,
just
they-
see a
they
little
don't
wolf
care.
like walking around in a team fight and you're like,
Yeah.
Useless.
yeah, but
Because
like,
which we're not trained to see that. Like League is so hard. Like you see the wolf or something, and like, what the fuck's that? And boom, it's too late.
and
you
it's
know?
like she's also not on the minimap when she's
That's
a
so
mine
fucked.
or a
I think
cannon.
that's
So it's just
fucked,
like
honestly.
it messes with people
yeah,
a lot.
that's crazy. I love that champ. She's a better version of Rakan. Now that I think about it, that's what I'm viewing Neeko as.
She is better than Rakan.
Okay, it's a good correction.
But Rakan's more
They
popular.
do very different things, but she is better than Rakan. Yeah.
All right,
Zilean.
this is the third best champ in the game from my perspective. Because I play Rek'Sai versus Zilean, and I will lose. I probably have a 10% win rate versus Zilean.
I've
when-
played Zilean with and against you a couple times recently, haven't I?
Yes,
I
because
think
you
that-
played a lot of Zilean. You've been working on a guide, right?
No, I just
Oh, you were just
just
playing
for
Zilean.
fun.
Oh, just for fun.
Just
Yeah,
like
you went through a
counterpicks and-
Zilean.
If Cupcake was working on a Zillion guide, he would not be sitting at this table.
Oh, I thought it might be popular or something, or maybe
No.
some secret
For some
sauce.
reason, he's more popular than Rell, which is mental to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zillion isn't he just like really good when he's good and really shit when he's shit?
Yeah, yeah. He's. I love this champion, man.
Yeah.
I
Why do
think
you
I
love
love
Zillion
it
so
as
much?
well.
Why do you?
I
Because
love
again, this makes no sense. The Cupcake is just so aggressive. He's known
Yeah,
for
it's
like
so
Tahm Kench and like bloody
Pyke,
and
Bard,
Bard getting in your face,
Thresh.
dominating
Yeah.
space, and then you like Zillion, this old bloke on a
It's
clock.
just you're so toxic and annoying. It's so much fun. Like you can just prevent a person from moving for like the next 10 seconds.
Right.
That's
It's
broken by
amazing.
concept.
And like his E, it's a point and click one shot.
Yep.
Like you get 5 points E, you press it on someone, they're dead. And like that's all. You just get in range and then they can't play the game. It's so much fun. I love it.
So what do people not get right about Zillion? What do you know about Zillion that others don't?
Does anyone else play the champion?
Well, apparently it's picked over 3% of games. That's pretty high.
And it's got very good win
I-
rate, 52.34.
Yeah, he scales incredibly well.
Yeah,
Almost
okay.
Sona tier.
I like
why
it.
is
That's
that?
why
Is
I
it
like
cool?
him.
Because
I
of
like
C-
scaling
CDR?
champs.
Is that why?
Yeah. Like his W just pumps out his spells. He's got his E that
Yeah.
people normally use E too much on allies, but if you use it on an enemy, it's a point and click one shot. You get a bunch of you stack a bunch of ability haste and a bunch of move speed, and then you're just running around.
So you walk up to Nathan's Rek'Sai, you E him, and then you QWQ. Is that what you do?
You E him, and then you can stand still and laugh spam, and he's probably going to die. But if you want to E him and then QWQ, you can do that as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
So the point and click E is just why the champ's so good.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And I mean, his ult is just valuable if you can use it. You don't have to verse like a Z, right? You can use it on just someone who's going to die, and then it's going to have high value as well. But
people
it's mainly like really low cooldowns. A lot of utility, and his E's broken.
Do people know what he does? Do you know what Zilean does? Do you know his 3 spells?
Yeah, I know that he resets his spell once.
Yeah.
And then also he can resurrect. And he can double bomb people. And that's it, right?
So his E is dual use, like Lulu, right? It is the E, which is like the speed up or the slow down, basically.
Yep.
So and then the W is it reduces
Reduces.
the most recently cast spells
No,
cooldown,
no,
or just
both
all
of his
cooldowns?
all cooldowns.
Oh, is it?
All basic spells.
All basic spells. I thought it was just
By a
one.
flat
I didn't know
number.
that. There you go.
Yeah. So it doesn't like fully reset it. It depends how many points you have in it. If it's going to, it's never going to like full reset, but it's going to get.
Pretty
Well,
close.
it does full reset as Q, so you can double. bomb.
Yes. Oh, because that's because Q has a lower base cooldown,
Yeah.
or because you max Q.
Yeah.
Do you max Q?
It depends. If you, I'm starting to just straight max E and just get to that point and click stage as quickly as possible. But I have
does
done
sound toxic.
I have done like 3 points Q into E, but I just 5 points E is so broken and so fun.
Because you don't pick the chance to deal damage.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Q poke in lane does negative damage, right? How do you get through lane on Zilean, by the way?
I mean, that's why he can struggle because
Versus ranged, but he's good with.
he can also just die against melees.
He's bad into everything, right?
Yeah, so
He's good into Braum.
yeah, like low threat, like
Nathan's
Rakan.
Oh yeah, that's why. Zilean is the counter to my entire pool. Volibear, Rek'Sai, Braum, it's sauce.
That's funny.
Oh, it's just so much fun pressing E on people. I
Wow.
can't wait to do that.
Okay.
All right.
It's cool because the next ones they're all linked up. We have to do most of these chants, Nathan. We have
Yeah,
to
I know. We'll maybe group them.
Yeah, let's
group the mages.
So let's group the mages. So I want to talk. So Swain, Xerath, Vel'Koz, Zyra, Brand, maybe throw Mel in here. Which of these do you want to talk about? What are some interesting ones that the community
the
should
ones you
be?
don't want to talk about. Give us a one-liner.
Yeah, but I think Swain is the 4th best champ in the game. Swain is now my ban.
Well, the Swain E is a point-and-click ability in my games
Yeah, no one.
and in
dodges
my
that.
reviews. Everyone gets hit by it in coaching.
I mean, the mage archetype, like we were saying before, it's just high risk, medium reward. Items are expensive. You skew your team's damage. You have less utility. So I'm not a big fan of mages for the average player. Now, if you want to like go really deep and one trick one of these champions, you can maybe find some success. And some mages are better than others. I think Xerath is ass. I think champions like Zyra are just going to do more. Like
Yeah, I
like,
think Zyra is the superior one here.
Zyra's annoying. The thing that if you're on Comet on Zyra and you put the plant up and then it just hits you from max range and applies the Scorch Comet, it's bloody annoying.
Comet, Scorch, Leandries, Rylai's, Zazax.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking everything. In the
You just
kitchen
apply a
sink.
bunch of stuff from a screen away, and it
terrible.
applies vision. It blocks skill shots as well. So Zyra's the elite mage in my mind.
Cool.
From like these kind of more popular ones, like the actual best mages are, if you want to call Elise a mage, you can. Neeko, I guess
Yeah.
that's a mage. Zoe, which we're probably not going to see here, but she's going to be really good as well. But these kind of like comet poke mages are, I don't think they're that inspiring. They can find some success in lower elos just because games go on for long and you can just kind of build a bunch of items and do damage. But yeah, I'm not inspired by them. I don't really want people to pick them up too much.
Talk about Zoe.
And-
What's happening with Zoe?
Yeah,
Why is Zoe?
Zoe
the
thinks
worst?
Zoe's one of those underrated champs in the game.
I think Zoe's what's fucking broken.
I
I
do.
completely agree.
She's pretty obnoxious for sure. Yeah.
There's so much damage.
Yeah, there's a lot of terrain that Zoe bot lane can do
Yes.
that Zoe mid lane can't really
That's
do.
right. Yeah.
She can just pick up all of those spells, and there's going to be more spells in the bot lane that she can pick up as well. She isn't like as tied to being, I don't know, under threat than a mid lane Zoe. Like a mid lane Zoe's like, oh shit, there's going to be a Rek'Sai behind me, and then she's going to die. But Zoe support, you can just really pick your moment to be annoying. Just sit in fog and press E, and then if one of them lands, then you're going to kill someone. So.
You also don't have the weaknesses. 'Cause Zoe mid, you have the problem of having to mop up side lane farm
Yep.
and actually navigate. Because the laning phase of Zoe mid is quite simple, but the mid game of Zoe is fucking hard.
Yep.
Because you're canopied by assassins, you have to play against Nathan's Rek'Sai in the side lane.
Yep.
Like that's the tricky part. But the support Zoe can just sit around the mid lane,
Yep.
flinging E's.
From
And you get about
fog.
one. It's like a Blitzcrank. One skill shot and you're dead.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mel's support has a 44% win rate.
Wow, is that the lowest win rate?
Probably the lowest in the game. Why are you not too hot on Swain?
It's just mage archetype. You're going to skew damage. You're going to be providing less utility. You're still going to be kind of squishy.
Why
So-
do you like Swain?
Do you like Swain support, or do you like Swain in general?
Sounds like you just like champions that counter melee champs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, I think Swain support. I can't remember if it's Swain ADC or support that's annoying for me. I can't
Swain
remember.
ADC is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think it's Swain ADC.
Yeah, me and Praetor both agree that Swain AD carry is
that's what I'm
probably the
talking
best
about.
champ in that role.
Yeah.
Like Swain and Jinx at the moment.
Crazy.
Yeah, but Swain support, like, I think you just want something different out of the support role generally.
Some supporting perhaps.
Yeah, true. And it's just expensive items. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to do that on support.
So
Vel'Koz, wait, we used to wear Vel'Koz.
Oh, Vel'Koz, yeah.
Because Azab just
yeah.
got rank 1 in the US playing Vel'Koz support.
Now
Yeah.
he's obviously a unique case because he's a one-trick Vel'Koz in Challenger for a decade or whatever.
Oh, he's
it
been
is.
playing Chow lobbies for like 10 years, right? So yeah.
So how much, you can always say how much of that is Vel'Koz and how much of that he's just a really good player.
I think it's
good mentor.
Azap and Champ Mastery. I don't necessarily think Vel'Koz is like elite tier or anything. I don't watch much Azap, but I think I heard recently on one of his videos or streams that he thinks Vel'Koz is in a weaker state than it has been in the past.
Okay.
So if you're really good at Vel'Koz, I can see it. Like his Q is actually really obnoxious in lane. It costs like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like 40 mana to press the spell. It's like really cheap. So you can spam it out and keep people at arm's length. And of course, if you're really good at the champion, then you can start to do a lot on him. Like if you're able to land, you know how his Q is like a projectile. If you can land a projectile, that basically guarantees the Q. You don't want to rely too much on the creative, like cutting off at certain angles. So it's again, like consistency is key. If you can land the initial projectile, you're in a good spot.
Yep.
If you have to play the mind game, you have to be really good at the champion and understand player behaviors around it. And he spikes pretty hard. Like level 6 is a big deal. He's going to do a lot of damage. He's going to fall off a little bit as the game goes on, but not the most popular champion, I think, for good reason. For mages not being that strong and for just being a really unique, clunky champion, I think.
So the last ones we need to talk about that are proper, support champions is Rell, Taric, Renata.
Kench?
Is he a support?
He's not. I wouldn't say support. Then you got
guess
Tahm
he's
Kench,
here.
Maokai, Poppy, Pantheon.
Yeah.
I thought you loved Kench.
I do love him, but he's such an identity crisis champion. They need to rework. They genuinely need to rework that.
He's already been reworked,
They
unfortunately.
need to do it again. They messed him up.
The old one made sense.
Yeah, his ult genuinely makes no sense. Like
Yeah.
you're making someone untargetable and giving them a giant shield. Like that makes no sense.
I'd never won a game with TK. Played a game yesterday with TK.
Oh, really?
Remember, I was playing Silas mid,
that's
and we
right,
had
yeah.
a Fed Sivir,
And
and the
he-
Silas
he-
ate
he-
me instead
yeah,
of
the
fucking
one-
home. I mean, yeah.
I like playing him because people don't know how to deal with him and because I'm good at the champion and then you can just stat check people. And I would love for him to be a popular champion. I would make such a good guide on him. I know all
would,
the ins
yeah,
and
you'd be
outs,
there.
but
So
Well,
sad.
your view of TK is different than everyone in the entire world, though. Most people think it's about the eat, right? Especially the old TK.
Yeah.
And with you winning lane, heart stealing people.
Yeah.
Like literally 1v1ing people.
yeah. Oh, I want to play that champion now.
Yeah,
He's
another
fun.
boomer champ, by the way.
Yeah.
Another boomer
Okay.
champ.
I think we're learning something about my preferences
You
now.
love honest melee champions.
Yeah,
who just wanna
I don't want-
fucking piss by you. Come on,
Yeah.
mate, come outside, I'll get you. You know, that's what he wants. He's like a 1920s boxer, basically.
From London.
From London, yeah.
So Rell, what happened to Rell?
Just nerfed too much. She's
Is that
like,
because of pro play or?
yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
100% pro
He was in
play.
the jungle for a while as well.
Yeah.
She was pushed to jungle. She was elite tier pro play and solo queue.
Yeah.
So she's an interesting one. She's never like the best pick in a draft. It's not like, oh, this is a Rell game. It's like she's either good or bad. And if she's good, then she's really good. And she is the best primary engager in the game, but when would you not want to have that in a game? Like having a really good primary engage tool is always going to be appreciated. So she doesn't hard counter anything specifically. I guess you can say she's good at breaking shields with her little Q stick, but
It's good into Tahm Kench.
she is good into Tahm Kench. Apart from that, she's suffering. She is not in the best place in the meta with all of the number of damages that they have done to her kit in the last year and a bit. So kind of is what it is. It's a shame. I think it's a really fun champion. There was a time last year where I was doing a lot of damage on her with Heartsteel and with Blood Song
Holy
and with
shit.
Shield Bash. I was genuinely one-shotting people.
Is
I'll
it
show
eat
you.
yourself and run at them in auto.
I'll show you guys a clip afterwards. Maybe we could even chuck it up here, but
I'll
you
chuck it
can,
on.
Yeah, we can. I was just genuinely one-shotting people on support Rell and just running at them. It was such a good time, but now you can't do that anymore. And so now you're just, you're trying to be a bit of a CC bot and your extended engages aren't quite what they used to be.
Right.
To be honest, she doesn't deserve to be this low in play rate. I think she is still okay, but she's going to be outperformed by Leona and maybe even Rakan at the moment, in my opinion.
Master Plus. Is Rell more popular Master Plus?
I don't...
Kind of. Not really.
Still 19 and Master
She's just
Boss.
very unpopular at the moment. She's just fallen off popularity.
So sad.
Yeah. Cool champion.
So you made a guide on both Maokai and Poppy. These guys were in the depths.
Have I done Maokai?
No, he did Tahm Kench and Poppy.
Tahm Kench and
Have I
Poppy.
done Tahm
No,
Kench?
you didn't do
Okay,
Tahm
Tahm Kench you did, but it was a long time ago. Nathan's thinking of like 2024.
Oh, maybe
I
the
think
Poppy guy.
I wanted to do it because I was playing a lot of him, and then we're like, no one plays this
We
champion.
scrapped
Let's
it.
do
Yeah,
something
you
else.
scrapped
But you did the Poppy guide.
I did the Poppy guide.
So was Poppy just a counter pick to dashes, or is that a misconception?
She was kind of my recommendation for lower elos, like an introduction to playing melee supports and engagers. It's
Is that 'cause
like
people stand near walls in low elo?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. She had quite a lot of damage with the Halo Blades. They've tuned that back in her kit quite a bit, and people don't respect the wall slam, and that's her kit, right? Just like Soraka's Q is Soraka's kit. Poppy's E is if you can land a wall slam, you're in a really good spot, and if you can't, you're basically useless.
Yep.
Of course, a W is going to counter a lot of specific champions that you can do a really good job of just nullifying.
Rakan, Lee Sin, Alistar.
Yeah,
Rell.
Zac is one that
Zac,
you'd
yeah.
counter really hard. But you also don't want to be
Nathan's
constantly...
Rek'Sai. I watched you play versus Poppy yesterday.
Oh, that
so-
sounds miserable, actually.
Yeah.
No, I enjoy versing Poppy.
Don't you get W'd mid-tunnel and then
that-
wall slam?
Nah,
That's
but-
exactly what happened when I was over his shoulder
It
watching
sounds
him play.
miserable.
Oh no,
Yeah.
but that game was over. No, but in general, someone can look at my account. I generally beat Poppies all the time.
I'd love to hear about
because
that.
they're free. I farm them. They're free kills.
How do you get on top of them?
Yeah, what the hell?
I just my angling. Like I E over the wall. And
Then
my E's done.
Yeah, and then he walks at them.
I just walk at them and knock them up.
Can
He's
you
dead.
can you like auto attack buffer? You can't interrupt her E, right?
Yes,
like
you can. You can.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
can like A move and then
That's
she
right,
won't.
correct.
Oh,
Correct, yeah.
okay, the tick. I see.
Yeah, it's a
so
very
the Poppy is actually, you shouldn't E the Rek'Sai.
no.
You shouldn't E the Rek'Sai.
Right. Okay.
So was Maokai another one of those champions that you thought were good introductory champions, like Warden? But then
No,
is he,
not
what are
like
your
an
thoughts on
engager.
Maokai?
He's
More
like
an engager.
one of the best scaling engagers just because his E and his R is just so broken. And his Q is on a really short cooldown as the game goes on, but
Yeah.
he really struggles in lane. He doesn't help to teach laning concepts. Like
He does not have a laning phase.
yeah, he has no stats and no range, and it's just a miserable time for a lot of the early game. But he'll have moments where he does well if there are a lot of good move speed items in the game, or if games just go on for long enough for him to just have a decent time.
Yeah.
He has certain specific good matchups like Rakan or people that just struggle with getting point and clicked on.
We need Righteous Glory back in the game for
Oh
Maokai.
my god,
This guy has a 52% win rate. I'm right. Lazy about that.
Yeah, dude, I think Maokai is insane. I think because again, people don't, as you said, one of the best scaling engage champs in the game.
Yeah.
That R is just insane.
It is.
Yeah, it's game breaking.
I think Maokai is, I mean, you guys have just said can't lane phase. I will lose lane and win every game anyway, so I don't care about
you should
that.
play Maokai
Yeah.
instead of Nautilus.
That's
Yeah,
a good shout.
it's a
He
good
actually
shout.
should, yeah.
I think you've recommended that to me before, but I forgot about that champ for some reason.
You'd be really good because you play Maokai in the jungle a bit
that's
as well, right?
I
Yeah.
was good at Maokai back in the day.
Because Maokai's constantly just coming in and out of the mid. When Maokai's strong,
He's
just
strong, broken.
picks first pick and pro
Correct,
play,
yeah.
just the most broken thing in the game.
Didn't they recently buff him?
Oh, did they?
Right, I think they
Interesting.
incentivized him in the jungle again. I was like, do they really want Maokai meta again?
He
I was
breaks
kind of
the meta,
surprised,
yeah.
but
Because
yeah.
then the enemy picks Silas to take the Maokai ulti, and it just takes messy. It gets messy. I love his last two champs. By
Yeah.
the way.
Taric one tricks, some of our Taric one tricks on our server. I swear Taric one tricks are the scariest players in the world. What do you guys think?
I think the champ's garbage.
All right, it's just garbage champ. No one played Taric.
No, I mean, it's like, it's got this fantasy
Yogg-
around being this massive disengage thing, but it's never accomplished as far as I'm aware.
in reality.
He oftentimes has insane solo queue win rates, surprisingly. I think it makes sense in lower elos. People don't respect the ult, and games go long enough for him to just be able to scale up really well because he has insane item spikes as well. He uses items really well.
Which ones?
That Fimbulwinter,
Okay.
Locket, that Protoplasm is going to be really nice for his tank. There's just so many different options that he can go. You can even get really greedy and go Diadem with a bit of tankiness initially, and then he can heal and shields. Yeah, there's a bunch of you can go, so items have always felt pretty good. The problem is he doesn't have enough threat, and so he can get outscaled by a lot of ranged champions.
Yeah.
And it's going to be harder for him to have a good time against ranged than even Braum. So he can really struggle on that front, but he is deceptively hard to play. Like there's a huge skill ceiling on his E. Like you have to cast it off of your ally. Do you know how your ally Rek'Sai is going to approach the fight? And from what angle? And how the enemies are going to react to that threat? Like you have to, it's kind of like Soraka are. It's like deceptively really hard to use well.
Yeah. The best Tarics, I think, he's talking about Tarics on our server. The most annoying ones are the ones that duo with Kalista or Twitch. And then they can just hop in your face and put the stun on you. That's where it gets annoying.
Yeah.
And the Tarics that know that they were like, because correct me if I'm wrong, but he's incredibly good at extended fights, right? Because especially extended 3v3s is what I'm thinking of, pairing with junglers, just whacking enemy jungler, heal, whack enemy jungler, heal, and just doing that constantly.
Or just whack anything if they start to run away. Whack a ward, whack a minion. You're just constantly healing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool champ design, but I understand why it's unpopular. It's kind of a bit unique and weird, isn't it?
Janky.
Yeah,
It is a bit janky.
But again, he got reworked again. The old Taric used to just be a point and click stun. Remember that thing? Like point and click Taric.
Yep.
All right, last one, lucky last. Which I'm just shocked again. It's so sad to see some of these champs here. Renata,
It's just the worst champ.
36.
Just so bad.
So it's a really bad champ. You played a lot of Renata back in the day.
When she was better.
So what happened to her?
She got nerfed 400 times. So that kind of hurt.
God.
Yeah.
She was broken on release like every champ is, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yep. And then people learned how to use her, and she was strong, and so they just had to tune back quite a lot. So she used to be really tanky, and now she's like genuinely squishy. And they've nerfed her kit so many times. And she also has an item identity crisis where, what do you build? Can you think of a single item that's like good on her?
Yeah.
Redemption. I would want my spot to
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe
I'm trying to
maybe
think
not.
like now it's like Vandal pipes. Like who cares? Like
Yeah, there's only 4 seconds that item's been nerfed, and it gives no mana regen as well. So it's like, she doesn't heal or shield.
does no damage.
What is that? We have a Renata OTP. What is that guy playing?
It's such a
Like,
sad champion.
On paper, she's really good against melees, right? Her Q is obnoxious. Her passive has no cooldown and does percentage max health damage. Her E is slow and shield. Her W counters the melee engage. Her ult is fantastic, but unfortunately,
I'm seeing Locket on Renata.
yeah, I think people are going like Locket Bandle.
Yeah.
I would love to see one a redemption in there. Just
I'm seeing Locket Redemption. Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I'm
What
saying.
I would do is Locket. I would probably do Locket Redemption now to come to think of it, because you don't
Well,
want
Redemption Rush actually, which is mine. Which sounds
risky, really risky with no flat health initially, but I can see it. It's just not going to feel great. It's like you want to be able to abuse items. That's why Sona's the best. That's why Nami's really strong with Mandate. It's why the melees that abuse Zeke's, and back in the day when Banner Pipes was strong, when they could abuse that really well, then they would be strong as well. So if you don't really have any items that you can really abuse well, and your champion kind of sucks in the moment, then why would you play her? She's just weak. You're not going to get results.
so interesting. You've spoken about items a lot this episode. Do you think about items with junglers when you recommend a jungler to someone? Isn't it more around their kit than how well they use items?
You mean some there's some item combinations that become meta, which sort of makes the most recent one I can think of is like Profane Hydra plus Sundered Sky, and that sort of boosts up some champions. And I might recommend it a little bit more, but not as much as support. I don't.
Well,
think.
it's just it's part of the puzzle, right? Like items determine if a champion's good in the meta, and if a champion's good in the meta, that'll influence if I recommend. Right? So
it's not the be all.
It's not everything, but it's there. Like I'm going to recommend Sona and Nami and Karma over Renata and Zilean and other champions that don't use items. But it's not everything, right? Like clarity of identity, clarity of reference points. Those
Ease of
things
execution.
are
Do you care about ease of
Yep,
execution? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, those are big deals.
Right. I'm just gonna go back to the list, Nathan. Is there any ones crazy ones we're missing? Spoke about Elise. Pantheon. Did we go about Pantheon.
Yeah. I don't think I've coached him a single time in years. No one plays him. No one brings him.
Okay. I was going to say him out loud so people don't think we forgot him.
Yeah,
I'm also seeing Ash, Fiddlesticks, Shaco, and LeBlanc. Again, we're not going to talk about them, but I just have to say them out loud so people don't get angry.
I think we can briefly mention Pantheon because he has played in the support relatively commonly throughout the years. There was a period where he was actually good. I don't know if it was last year or end of the year before where Heartsteel Rush was actually a thing on him because he has quite a lot of health scaling actually, and then he could be obnoxiously tanky and And that kind of fell out of meta. He can use Bloodsong pretty well. He's building expensive items. He does a lot of damage. People freak out against the Pantheon. Then they give him a lot more respect than he deserves. Incredibly squishy before level 3.
Right.
You can just kind of kill him a lot of the times.
You can let him W you and then kill him.
Yep. Yeah, especially if you're a ranged champion.
Yeah.
He doubles on you and then he's just going to try and run away for the next 10 seconds and he's got nothing left to offer and you can just kind of smack him in the head and he's very squishy. Obviously, you can't just one-shot him whenever you want, but you got to understand he's not as turbo broken as everyone kind of makes him out to be.
Yep.
Pretty high skill ceiling with the ults and very finicky with how you're going to approach a fight. Like you have to get high value out of your E. And maybe, Nathan, you'd have a better idea of, because I assume you're going to be coaching Pantheon jungle a lot more.
Pantheon jungle was,
And you're probably going to have a bit more gold and XP, but
that's right.
you still got to use your spell as well as you can in a fight.
Yeah, a big thing with Pantheon jungle-wise, just to make way more superior than support, is that a one-item Pantheon, you can take over the game. Like, and you're gonna, as a jungler, you're going to get that before everyone else, right? You know, so you're just really powerful getting those, 1-2 items and just taking over the game. Like Curtis last year, he got Challenger. A big part of he got Challenger is that he had hit that jungle pick secondary Pantheon. And
he did Pantheon secondary.
He did Pantheon secondary.
Damn.
And he was just, because the OPS thing as well about Pantheon jungle compared to support is you can actually be anywhere on the map. Because you can, obviously the R has a range. It's not a full global. Support, you're actually limited. Unless you're coming out of base to go to top, but as a jungler, you can be everywhere. So the ult's just more powerful. And also the idea of like the efficiency, you can hit your camps and be the threat of being on the map as well.
Yeah, I think it might be like the stronger, faster item spikes because support has the most freedom out of roles. Like you can be anywhere you want. You're not tied to camps or to minions. But maybe that lack of levels and that lack of keeping up with the item spikes is just not the same as jungle.
Yeah, because Curtis would say like Pantheon does scale if you are always strong and you don't fall behind the curve. A lot of Pantheons just like overplay in the mid game and don't value their farm. Yeah, so Curtis just got really strong and he was always strong and scaled.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think he's just too weak. He doesn't get enough gold for items. That's what it sounds like the problem with support.
Yeah. I want to go through phases of these niche supports, but there's just not enough time in the day.
No.
I would love to play Pantheon and just give him a go, but
go deep, yeah.
All right, well, that wraps up our mega episode, breaking down almost every single support champ in the game.
Did we forget some?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to talk about fiddlesticks and all that sort of stuff.
Shen, it wasn't on the list either. Gragas support, Ivan support.
Anyway,
it's just too hard.
It's just too hard. No, I know. So just give us a break, all right? Just give us a goddamn break.
We tried our best.
Because you just have those one person watching the podcast who plays that one champ saying disappointed, unsubscribing.
Because they're looking, they see it pop up, they instantly look through timestamps and then they write their comment.
Their champion's not there, disappointed.
Yep.
Got baited by the title.
Baited. Because we are going to say every support in the game in the title.
All right, well, thanks for your insights today, Cupcake. I think it was hopefully is going to help people get much better at the support role and having some more respect for these champions and putting some more respect on the skill ceiling, specifically for enchanters, getting people more aggressive. Because I always say, and you share the same belief, is that more people should be playing supporting League of Legends, and it's a disrespected role.
Absolutely.
It's one of the best roles in the game.
Heavily misunderstood. There's so much agency that you can have, and people have the wrong approach where they don't feel like playing it, and it's not going to be as fun the way that they want to play it, but there's just so much you can get out of the support role.
All right. Recruitment support, we want you. Good work, guys. 3-block process. Get into the details. We will see you on our next episode.